Welcome to the Odd Drunk Podcast. It is now time for spooks and booze, the ears and beers of the spookiest time of the year. So grab your drinks, your tricks and treats, and prepare yourself for Spooktober.
You ever see Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure?
I've seen it put into green screen.
Yeah,
on different.
Oh, right.
On different videos and games and stuff.
There's a part in it
but I actually haven't seen the whole movie.
where Pee Wee is like hitchhiking or something like that. I don't know, it's been years since I've actually watched it. And he gets picked up by a trucker named Marge. It's Large Marge.
Oh.
And she's like a ghost. So like he gets to the biker bar and they're like, who, you know, they're like, he's like, yeah, I hitched a ride with Large Marge, and everyone goes silent, like. And there's a scene where she like boos at him, and like her eyes come out. And when I was like 5 years old, that freaked me out.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
the eyes popping out.
I haven't seen that movie in about a decade, but when I was like 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, I loved that movie, but I was freaked out by that scene.
Oh yeah. Everybody, welcome back to the Odd Drunk Podcast. I'm not gonna mess around with any banter. Don't need it. Don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
No, but I will say before we get into this episode, drop a like. No. We don't have that. Before we get to this,
if you can find a way to drop a like,
drop one.
Do it. But
drop a dislike, and I'll come find you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
I'm too lazy to.
I'm too lazy. YouTube doesn't display dislike numbers anymore.
You know, oh God. I mean, you can get the extension that shows it, but that's just so. You know why?
You can also just use the Wayback Machine or whatever.
Yeah, and but you know, it's so. Obviously, they had their corporate bullshit reasoning of we want to encourage a positive environment, but then you know you watch. Then you don't know if a video is gonna be shit or not until you watch it. I guess in a way,
I think it was kind of a response to like.
It was actually a response to YouTube's not the YouTube yearly the 2018 thing or whatever they do.
Rewind or whatever it is.
I don't think it was Rewind. I think it was something else that got. But it was from YouTube's account.
Right.
And it has the most dislikes. Which previously the Rewind had the most dislikes.
Yeah.
I got to research this.
Yeah, I do.
You can decide to put this in or not.
Yeah. No, I mean, I miss the dislikes, not because like, I mean, realistically, for most most videos I watch, I don't actually look at the like or dislikes, but I did appreciate when like a trailer for a video game would come out or something like that, and it would have like a ridiculous number. Like I think there was a Call of Duty game.
There's a Call of Duty that actually broke the record. I forget. Yeah. I think it might have been Infinite Warfare, or it was one of the Warfares, but not one of the good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was one of the very forgettable.
Was it Vanguard even though that's actually a pretty good game?
I don't know.
No, it was Infinite Warfare.
Oh, okay.
And it had 3 million dislikes, and the main reasoning is because they went way futuristic with Call of Duty.
And also people online are assholes.
Yeah, and they like to voice it. Yeah. But, however, I stand corrected. YouTube Rewind 2018, with everyone controls the rewind. That's the subtitle. Mm-hmm. Which is completely far from the truth. Well, I guess they did because they dislike bombed it. But it's still the most disliked video on the platform with 15 million dislikes. Rapidly surpassed the music video for Justin Bieber's song Baby, which entered the Guinness World Records book as the most disliked video on YouTube and on the internet. As of July 9th, 2021, YouTube Rewind 2018 has over 7.1 million more dislikes than Baby. I just love how when that video, all the rewinds are trash, by the way. Like, none of them are good. Like, I think maybe the first one was okay because they actually had content creators people cared about.
I mean, it ultimately comes down to, I think it's just that
it's
soulless,
just soulless, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if there is good content creators featured in it, it's just so... They're trying to be hip and cool.
Yeah,
it's just like...
I can't
love...
always put a finger on it.
Sometimes I hate the internet.
Sometimes there's just this soulless corporate stuff that I'm like, I don't know why it feels so soulless.
It just
does.
It's just disingenuous. It's like staring into a...
It's like those City Market or Kroger, depending on where you live. Those commercials that they have
King
that are
Super.
Like those animated commercials.
Oh, I hate them.
And I don't know what about that art style, but I hate it. And it's just very soulless. And
we could do a whole episode on that corporate art style.
Yeah, I mean, well, if this was a video podcast, maybe
I don't hate all of them, but yeah, there's something, that just discomforts me. I don't like it, but. What was I gonna... Oh, yeah, I love that the internet just united against YouTube in that instance. But surprisingly, that's not when they took out dislikes. That was recent.
Yeah.
And some people say it's kind of suspicious how the Disney Star Wars cruise ship trailer came out, and it got a shit ton of dislikes. And that's right around the time that the dislikes were removed, so that's a little sus.
Yeah, that Disney Star Wars hotel thing just bombed, from what I understand. It's like $15,000 a night.
Yeah, is it that much?
Yeah, something like that. Like it's or not for the night, but like for the stay
for like a week.
The way that, from what I understand, the way it's designed
a few days.
Is that this is not a hotel you just go stay in. It's supposed to be like a resort where it's like the whole thing is an experience.
It's an experience,
and it's the type of thing where it's like, yeah, it's just so
it's so generic.
Yeah, I think it was like $15,000 for like a 3-night thing.
And the little teaser they revealed, absolutely nothing looked Star Wars about it.
Yeah, and it's such a...
It looked like Battlestar Galactica.
I'm not surprised.
Generic
I'm really
sci-fi.
not surprised that it bombed, that it's bombing, because it's like, it's so expensive. Like $5,000 a night.
Well,
and it's a type of hotel where you're going to stay multiple nights.
And
so
also,
it's like,
why not...
You stay 3 nights, it's $15,000, and it's also catering to a specific demographic. It's catering to Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
It's catering to the Star Wars fans who don't hate the Disney Star Wars.
Star Wars fans who have money.
Yeah, and so it's such a specific... It's Star Wars fans who are rich and don't hate the Disney Star Wars.
At least don't hate it.
Yeah. So, that's a really specific group of people.
Yeah, and also... Dude, if I was in charge of their park... In fact, I think Bob Iger... Or maybe not him. I forget who it was that was in charge of like Disney's parks department.
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard like their parks, like the new stuff, is really going downhill. It just feels hokey.
I've heard the Marvel, the Avengers campus. Is not very good. Like I've heard it's not.
Well, when
terrible,
it first came out, it was really bad because there was just like nothing. And like sometimes the Spider-Man robot would mess up.
Oh yeah, I've seen the videos of that.
But great. they did come out with like a new ride, like a augmented reality thing. It's kind of like Avengers. I mean, Secret War. But,
I personally really I like Disneyland,
but it's still like a movie anyway.
Yeah, I like Disneyland. I grew up going there.
But but like, what I want to say though is why didn't they do? If you're gonna do a Star Wars resort. You have so many great options, but if I was in charge, I would do Naboo.
The other one that would be cool would be Endor.
Yeah, Endor would be good.
Do a nature preserve.
Well, why not have a couple different options?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you can do the Naboo. I mean, that was shot like in Italy.
Yeah.
You
can do it in Italy.
Yeah. Open up a resort in Italy that's themed off of Naboo.
Put some Star Wars stuff in there.
Yeah. Open up a resort in the woods in Northern California. That's like
the Ewok village.
And an Ewok village.
Yeah.
It's like rustic cabins and shit. And yeah, it'd be expensive still.
No, and it would be more expensive getting all the land.
It would actually probably be a maybe worthwhile experience if you have the money to spend on it.
Yeah.
Versus this Starship Cruiser thing, I've heard
generic
just sucks.
I've
heard it's just bad.
You're gonna have to cut. You can keep whatever you want in because this has absolutely nothing to do with today's topic, which hopefully we will gloriously segue into at some point.
Yeah.
But I will say, they showed the lightsaber laser AR thing. It looked horrible.
Yeah, just everything about it looks bad. I like Disneyland. I went to Galaxy's Edge when that opened. I liked it.
No, that looks like
it was pretty cool.
I heard it's still more of just a shopping kind of experience.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a lot of
that. You get a lot of cool collectibles.
The Millennium Falcon ride is actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's an interactive thing. It's so you go in groups of 4. If you're by yourself, they just
that does look cool.
They put you in with other people who are solo.
However,
and what the ride is you each take a seat in the cockpit, and you have to play mini games to pilot the Millennium
But isn't
Falcon.
it just like a big video game?
It's kind of a big video game, but it's cool because
that's kind of my thing.
Go into they have a life-size Millennium Falcon.
No, that's cool.
Which
that's cool.
Is rad.
But I appreciate those kind of rides. I know they're high tech and they might have great visuals and they might seem like contact physical, but I prefer just a physical.
Oh, I still prefer a roller coaster.
Yeah, roller coaster.
No, the Galaxy's Edge, there's a lot of shopping, but it was kind of cool because there's so many. It's so well detailed.
No, yeah, that's what I've heard.
You could probably ask my girlfriend. We went to Disneyland a few years back, and
you'll get arrested.
And we did a bunch of other Disneyland stuff for a big chunk of the day, and we made our way to where that Galaxy's Edge is in the park.
Nice.
And she saw me as soon when we turned the corner, and there's a life-size X-wing fighter. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I ran up to it. I'm like, "Quick, take a picture of me." With it, I was like a nerd, just freaking out. It was cool. It was cool, but no, some of the newer stuff they've been doing is kind of, I don't know.
It doesn't feel like the same quality.
Yeah, at least a lot of the old Disneyland stuff is still there.
No, it's still there,
which is good. But I'm not if I go to Disneyland again, I'm not going for the new stuff.
No,
unless they
reveal
I'm going for the stuff that the classic stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Although
Space
Mountain's great. Some of the classic stuff I don't like. I've never liked what's it called? Small World.
No, I never liked that. That's very creepy.
Some
people say it's haunted and that the dolls will.
My high school teacher was a night janitor at Disneyland when he was in college. And he cleaned the canals at It's a Small World.
Jeez.
At night, he said the
that
lights.
Sounds horrifying.
Turn on all the lights and
I feel like it might be creepier with all the lights on because you see everything.
Yeah, he said it was pretty creepy.
I don't know.
He said he was not allowed to go near the animatronics. They don't want the janitors touching them to fuck them up or something.
Well, they don't want the janitors getting their throats ripped out by
he said that what they told him is that they don't. They have to have the technicians actually.
But Disney has its dark.
They're expensive. So
we could do a whole different topic.
But that's just what he was told.
Haunted Disney. Because I heard there's footage apparently. It looks altered to me. I don't know, or it looks like it just could be a camera error. But apparently Space Mountain's haunted, and there's a certain car you ride in.
There's all sorts of Disneyland stories. Yeah,
ghosts will sit with you on the ride.
Yeah, there's people have done all sorts of crazy stuff trying to
they seen Walt Disney
ashes at Disneyland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of haunted things,
but we're not here to talk about haunted Disney.
I mentioned Pee Wee Herman earlier because
he went on a road trip.
The ghost. With the ghost, and that's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about haunted highways.
Yeah, because I just got done with a road trip. Went on a quick little vacation. Went to the Arizona State Fair. It was a lot of fun and everything. And I actually drove, and you have as well. We've been on it together. Actually drove on a supposedly haunted highway. U.S. Route 491.
Yeah.
Previously named Route 666.
Yes.
And let me tell you about it. There is this funny thing. It's just a coincidence. I do not remember the last time I've driven on it during the day.
Yeah.
So on my trip just recently, we left at night. So obviously we're going to be driving at night. But coming back home, well, we left at like 11 in the morning, which is a little later, but we weren't in any rush. But we got a big traffic jam towards Payson, Arizona. And it was like an hour and a half, almost hour 45-minute approximately traffic jam just sitting there, barely moving. So by the time we got on US 491, Route 666, the Devil's Highway they call it, it was dark. Or the sun was setting, and I will say, I don't know if it must have been a supermoon a couple days ago, because it was.
Yeah,
the moon was full, bright, and yellow, and we were driving on Route 666, and Apple Maps still calls it that sometimes.
I have definitely driven on this road.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird thing.
I think it was this road that. It was me and Caleb were driving to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we left at like 10 o'clock at night. And so we probably were driving through the stretch of road. About midnight, something like that. Maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. And we were both...
Did you see anything spooky?
We were both staying awake in the front seat to keep each other awake while driving. And we hit the biggest fucking jackrabbit I've ever seen.
I mean, that's scary. That can be scary.
But nothing
your car.
spooky, yeah.
No, I will say, and this is going to go for most, if not all of these, but I haven't been on all these, obviously, because a lot of them are East Coast. Mm-hmm. We might have some from the UK, maybe. I mean,
there's a lot of creepy roads in the Southwest. There's certain roads going through northern New Mexico or Arizona where it's like...
Aren't they only creepy in the nighttime? I don't find roads creepy during the daytime. I
typically don't, but there's a few. I don't know if it's
you can tell me about it.
Or a different highway that goes through Southwest Colorado. That it's like there's like a lot of abandoned buildings.
No,
like,
yeah.
There's abandoned motels and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's
and you'll see like an abandoned farmhouse, often, stuff like that, which that doesn't really get me too much. Abandoned mine shafts, though, that's kind of a different thing for me. Those always pique my curiosity.
There's one north of town here.
It's like, why was it abandoned? There's a bunch of miners die down there.
There's a quarry north of town.
Which does happen. Miners do die.
Yeah. Happens a lot.
That's one of the most dangerous blue-collar jobs.
There's a quarry north of town here with a barred-off, like, mine cave entrance or whatever it is.
How north?
A little past Hesperus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably noticed it but never remembered.
There's no sign for it.
It's hard.
And you can't see it from the road. But it is like walking distance from the road.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, like
you
often
gotta go down a hill.
Often when you drive, you zone out and you don't really pay attention or remember things.
Yeah, it's just like you got to park next to the road and then walk down a hill, and there's a lot of trees surrounding it, so you wouldn't notice it from the road.
But yeah, on Route 66, well, formerly known as Route 66, US 491, I will say, yeah, I've only really remembered driving on it during the night, or at least during sunset. And yeah, it's a coincidence, but I've always driven on it at the spookiest times because it is middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it is responsible for... It's got an extremely high fatality rate.
Yeah, there's just a lot of roads in that area that are...
Yeah.
You can go hours without...
The only reason we're talking about it is because it used to be Route 666.
Yeah, which is fun.
Because I've read stuff online how supposedly people seen hellhounds chasing them and all this shit. I'm like, were you tripping on peyote or something? Because the only thing I've seen is maybe a dead coyote or two, and you saw a jackrabbit. Yep. I don't think that constitutes...
We hit the jackrabbit. There was blood on the car.
Maybe you're cursed now.
We were very tired.
Jackrabbit curse. But, you know, I don't think that constitutes as hellhounds. And
no, it was a massive jackrabbit, though.
And apparently there's another thing you're supposed to... You could see a flaming semi-truck. And
really?
I do not recall...
I think I would have noticed that.
Unless I was sleeping. I dozed off for a second, flaming semi truck, and then I missed it. That'd be lame. I would want to see that.
Yeah.
As long, well, let me preface this: if it's a ghost flaming semi truck, not an actual one, because that's horrible.
Yeah.
A ghost one.
I mean, I've seen flaming trucks, but they were like
real,
not driving, and they were just on fire.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
real
think
trucks that were.
I don't think it's specified if it's driving. Maybe someone just happened to see a really bad wreck and they're like, "Oh my god, it's because it's haunted."
Yeah,
it's like, come on. But
just some.
But yeah, I was like, wait,
some res kids just lighting shit on fire.
Yeah.
For fun, at night, and some white guy driving past being like, "Holy shit, this place is haunted."
Yeah. No, but yeah. We were coming up with an idea for the episode, and I just got done road trip. It was good inspiration, and I drove on Route 666, the Devil's Highway, but there doesn't seem to be, at least the times I've been on it, nothing haunted about it.
Yeah.
I could just lie and say, yeah, I saw the flaming semi-truck. It was crazy. We almost died. But I'm a man. I'm true to my word. I'm not going to fool the listeners.
I've driven down that way.
One of us is always lying, and the other one doesn't tell the truth, or whatever the riddle was.
I've driven down that way many times.
What's the riddle in Labyrinth?
On what?
Labyrinth?
Well, I don't know.
Like, one of us is lying, but the other one...
Oh, the two doors?
Yeah, the two doors.
Oh, yeah. One of us always lies, one of us always tells the truth. And you can only ask one question.
Ask one question.
So the question you ask is, you say to one of them, "What would he tell me? Which door would he tell me it is?"
Yeah,
correct.
I like that movie. I just watched it not too long ago.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it scared me when I was a kid.
Didn't know that was Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
She's so young.
Yeah, she was in Ang Lee's Hulk, wasn't she?
She was in Ang Lee's Hulk.
She plays the character that Liv Tyler plays in something Ross. I don't remember her.
I haven't seen the Ang Lee Hulk in like 15 years.
You know, I thought about watching it the other day because it's on Hulu right now.
Oh, really?
And I decided to watch Ghostbusters instead.
There you go. That's always the better option. So. No, there's been so many times I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch a new movie or a movie I haven't seen in a while, and then Ghostbusters. Even when it's not this time of year.
I'm a basic bitch. I rewatch the same, 20 movies just over and over again.
But do you have anything else to tell?
Of personal...
Any spooky roads in California? I know there's supposed to be a lot there.
I mean, I've had some spooky experiences on roads, but no specific, on haunted roads.
Like, what's a spooky experience you had?
I got stalked by a pack of coyotes while riding a bike once in the mountains in California.
That could be a frightening experience.
It was me and my sister were riding up. It was a Glendora Mountain Road.
And I know the story.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pretend I don't for the listeners.
And
how meta should we be with this podcast? I've never really thought about it.
I don't know.
Can it be meta? Because it's a podcast. It's not a scripted.
Yeah, I don't think we can be meta.
Or is it scripted? Have we been scripting it this whole time? And that's, they should hire us on SNL because we're so good at scripts. We can script very natural, awkward silence, improv.
Yeah.
But not good improv, but that's what makes it good because it's scripted not to be good.
Yeah. No, but there's this road, Glendora Mountain Road. It's a popular road for cyclists.
Yeah.
In the mountains near LA. And I was riding up it with my sister at night one time. And this is mountain lion territory. And a cyclist not long before that had been actually attacked by the mountain lion.
Yeah, that's a real thing that can very much happen.
We were a little bit nervous, but we just we were sending it anyway, and it got dark, and as we're riding, something starts across the road, and we get spooked, but we're like, oh, it's just a coyote. And we keep going, and it happens like 3 more times, and we're like, okay, that's the 4th time it happened. We're like, that's weird. So we stopped, and we looked behind us, and they were following us, and we looked up the road, and they were coming down the road, and then I turned. And this is a mountain road where it's like right next to the road. It's like a really steep hillside, and I turned my bike towards the hillside, and because we were on that side of the road, and there was a coyote like 2 feet away from me.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember I jeered my wheel at it.
Yeah.
And then we just took off down the hill.
No, I mean, yeah, it's not like it's
not a haunted,
hard to scare a coyote away, but still getting followed by a pack.
They get brave when they're a pack.
Yeah, and when
That's
they're
why
hungry.
I tell people when you see a coyote, if you're camping and shit, like, one coyote is pretty not very scary.
Yeah.
You can scare them off, but don't just like leave them alone. Scare them off because
because then they'll bring back the pack. Yeah. Before we continue, we almost skipped a very important part of this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's Spooktober. I guess I forgot to mention that, but you heard the theme song and everything. But so we are drinking. Well, I am drinking, and you can definitely have one if I can have.
Yeah. We'll try.
I want to try. It's not in theme with the episode. Actually, I'll save that. I won't even mention it. We'll save it when we cover that topic. But I am drinking from Live Oak Brewing, I assume, Oktoberfest. And it's just Oktoberfest, Munich style.
I do like Oktoberfests.
And it is this is one of our first Texan beers in a while, if ever.
I don't drink beers out of Texas much.
I didn't know when I bought it, but extraordinary lagers and ales craft brewed in Austin, Texas since 1997, the year of my birth. There you go, guys. Using traditional, now you know how young we are. Using traditional beer making methods inspired by old world style beers.
Yeah, for some reason I don't see a lot of beers from made in Texas. Although
it says it's made in
the
shape.
I know there are plenty of beers made in Texas.
Oh yeah. At least it's from Austin. That's a cool. Keep Austin weird, That's a cool part of Texas. Well, not physically cool. It's actually quite hot there.
I got a couple things here.
It's quirky. It's quirky in Austin.
Yeah, I like Austin. It's pretty decent.
Music town.
I don't totally hate Texas.
Just
I wouldn't want to live in Texas.
We totally do not hate all Texans.
No, I don't hate Texans. But I don't. I've never had a great time in Texas though.
Yeah,
it's really hot.
Well,
and
everything's bigger in Texas. That's what they always say. They always say that.
Houston's a weird town, I think.
Houston, they're very judgmental.
Also, the Astros can suck my balls.
You heard his basketballs.
Sure. No, they can suck
baseballs.
My baseball. They can suck my
baseball
baseballs.
team. Sorry.
Yeah. I got just.
Or maybe it's worse if they,
a pretty random mix here of beers, but this is the main one that I saved for this. It's a blood orange hard cider.
Nice.
From Climb Hard Cider Company, from Loveland, Colorado.
Nice.
And it is delicious. I've also got.
Speaking of which,
the Colorado Kolsch from Steamworks Brewing.
Yeah,
Durango,
it was great.
And I'm gonna mention it.
You can mention it.
Well, this. I
just don't like that it's.
Yeah, this is
not on the right.
This is way off.
Episode.
This one's way off topic, but I have it, and I think it's a limited edition, so I don't know how long it'll be around. I've got the Fellowship IPA from BrewDog. This is the Lord of the Rings IPA.
Okay, well maybe after Spooktober we should be covering Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so
coming up, so we can drink.
We'll bring it up. Well, maybe we'll talk about Rings of Power when the first season's over.
Yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. Actually, right now, but I haven't seen the latest episode. Don't spoil it.
I haven't seen the latest one either.
There's a lot of things I really like from a cinematography aspect, film aspect. Gorgeous, great.
Oh yeah.
But from lore and
it's
fan aspect.
There are issues.
I'm not,
but I do
overall
overall enjoy it.
but I feel like
I'm kind
Tolkien's rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
Even more than the Hobbit. Well, the Hobbit probably.
There's a few things I don't like, but overall, I don't know. It's still cool, I guess.
You know, out of all, this is the last side tangent.
I still liked Shadow of War, even though that game is. The story feels like an edgy fan.
But it's a video game, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really have to be true. I also sent you got a cider. I got a cider.
Ooh.
2 towns.
That was not planned.
No, it was not planned. 2 towns, and I'll definitely take a picture of this one because it's a very spooky Halloween cider.
Nice.
2 towns cider house, Hollow Jack. And here we go. Pumpkin spice, chai spiced pumpkin cider.
Chai pumpkin spice.
Made with heirloom pumpkins. It is made with real pumpkins.
At least.
So I think that gives it a lot more points because, you know, like Starbucks, the way they do their pumpkin spice. I know it's like a weird artificial thing that you don't want.
Yeah.
But
a chai pumpkin spice. That sounds
okay, so profile.
Like it could be great or disgusting.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Profile. Jack is back, and he's feeling spicier than ever. Uh-oh. Brimming with Northwest apples, fresh boiled pumpkin, and a blend of chai spices. This year's Hollow Jack is an ode to the flavors of fall. Speaking of fall, we've been planning on doing another album review.
Yeah,
or at least I would like to, but I think I'm going to wait. I think we should wait, obviously, because we're in the middle of Spooktober, but I'm going to wait because I've been listening to Weezer's Seasons EPs, and I'm really enjoying them, and
They're
I
all
love
great so far, yeah.
Just a quick little thing, I think they're some of the Weezer's best stuff they've done in a long time.
Yeah.
Even considering OK Human and stuff, like it's on par with that at least. And I love the Vivaldi and like all that. It's fun. It's good. And yeah, they just released their Autumn EP, and been listening to that, and it's kind of like a dance album.
Yeah,
a bit of that at least.
I liked the Autumn one. The spring one,
and I love the orchestral stuff.
So far, the spring one is still my favorite of the 3.
I think. Well, it's really hard to say, but there's a couple songs on the summer one that I'm like, that's just peak Weezer.
Oh yeah,
like
the summer
that's
one,
Blue Album. Like you know,
the summer one was the most Weezer
because spring is supposed to be like Island in the Sun, but for the whole album.
Yeah.
You know, and then summer's more just alt rock kind of. Mm-hmm. Even though they all have like a through line with like very big, like epic, like choirs.
I did see.
Stuff like that.
I did see or listen to a interview with.
Was he on Conan O'Brien's podcast? Because I just listened to that today.
No, he was on
Rivers.
NPR.
Oh, okay.
Rivers
I know he's doing his...
and he basically said, like, the initial inspiration was he went to, like, one of those Shakespeare in the Park things.
Mm-hmm.
And was like... he's like, you go to these Shakespeare in the Park things, they're always, like, in the spring or early summer, and you just get, like, these vibes from it. It's just, like...
Yeah.
And it's reminiscent of the season, and he wanted to do... that, and it led to the idea of
but anyways, really enjoying it, and Rivers and just Weezer have been giving us a lot of music in a short period of time. Pretty crazy. Great idea too. I mean, an EP for each season. It's just cool.
It's pretty decent Oktoberfest.
Nice. Yeah, I do like it.
It's a little hoppier than some Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard, but I like it.
But not
no, but that's all I'm gonna say about it. But for the next album reviews, I'll definitely talk about it because they still have the winter EP, and then I can rank it as a whole,
nice,
all 4 of them, because they're gonna put it together in a big LP.
Oh yeah.
That's just perfect marketing.
Well, that's when I would totally buy a vinyl set of.
Yeah, because they have been selling the vinyls of each EP, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait. For all 4.
No, you'd want this
because
box set of that,
the EPs are only about 20-25 minutes long.
Yeah,
which is perfect for EP, anyways. But like, once the winter album's out, it'll be like a big ass LP, like hour 40 minutes.
It would probably be a 2-disc.
Yeah, two LP.
Like
and I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Weezer. But
we're getting sidetracked.
This is the most sidetrack we got to watch. But you know what? I think maybe we need to keep like a points system, like tangent points. And let me just tell you, because I think on the last couple episodes we've been great about staying on topic. especially like the Lovecraft reading. With your editing, at least, we stayed on topic.
Yeah, we did when we recorded it go on
huge
a half hour
like
political rant. We cut out.
I'm so glad we cut that out. We might lose some people. Not because we said anything bad.
No, it could one of those moments where you'd be listening to it and you'd be like,
especially when you're drunk.
What the fuck has this episode devolved into?
Yeah, so we're not gonna do that here, unless we do, and then Colton edits it out. Either way, it's not gonna. You're not gonna hear it. But I think tangent points.
Yeah.
So I'll say, how many points should we allocate to ourselves as a whole, or to each person?
I think it should be as a whole, and I think we should have a system where every time we go on a tangent, we have to mark it down, and when we get to a certain number, we both have to take a shot.
Oh,
or something
so it's
like
that.
A punishment. Yeah. So if we hit more than like a certain, I don't know what the number would be.
Well, if you count the Disney, and what we were just talking, Weezer stuff, would that be 2 tangent points?
Yeah, I think that's 2 tangent points. And maybe it's like if we reach like,
if it's like topic adjacent, I think that doesn't count unless we go too long.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be half a point if it's like kind of in topic. Right now, I think talking about the tangent points is a point.
Yep. Yeah. This is still. We're avoiding. It seems like we're avoiding the subject.
Yeah,
at this point.
So yeah, we have. I got us with 3 tangent points, and I say when we get to, let's be nice to ourselves. When we get the 10 tangent points,
we gotta take
as
a
a
shot.
Total. We gotta take a shot. We have to take a shot.
How about this?
So,
we have an unopened bottle of Wild Turkey 101 here. So if we reach 10 tangent points,
or do we
take a shot of that?
Do it over various like a number of episodes. Like once we get to like 30 tangent points, then we have to do something really.
No, I think let's just stick it to 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to take a shot of something we don't like.
I didn't say that necessarily. I mean, unless you want to take a shot of orange bitters.
God.
I don't have like nasty stuff here.
Yeah, why would you? I mean, why would you keep nasty?
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. I don't buy liquor I don't like. That's the problem. Should I get a bottle of Malort? And
you know what? We should just get a really cheap liquor that we both hate.
Yeah.
Because if it's a good shot, we might want to get more tangent points,
Yeah. Well, Wild Turkey 101 here is the first.
So should the max be 10 tangent points? And actually, you know what? To keep things on topic, even though we're not on topic right now, I'm going to make it a little bit tighter.
Okay.
We get a maximum of 5 tangent points in episode.
So we're already at 3.
However, we can have a stipulation. If we can vote to veto it, the tangent points. However, those points continue on to the next episode.
Yes. Okay.
So that means on the next one, we start out with 5. Yeah. So if we go on a tangent, we have to take a shot.
Yeah.
Man, I love the system.
This is a good system.
I gotta write this all down though. So veto.
We're already 40 minutes into the episode.
Veto.
We should probably get on topic at some point.
I refuse. I have to finish my point system. You can get on. You can get on topic. Veto. But points. Carry on to next episode. But you know what's good about that loophole there? That's a loophole. I gave us a loophole. Because if you veto and then use your tangent points in the next episode, that means you have clean slate for the one after.
That's true. That's true.
So,
yeah. I do like this Oktoberfest. But anyway, I don't know how you did your went about your research for?
Or should it be 5 tangent points apiece? No, okay, as a whole. Okay, I'm done.
A whole. Let's just roll with it.
But I'm gonna make sure I.
Let's just roll with it. I think 5. I think 5 for an episode. We're actually typically really good about not going on too many unrelated tangents.
Sometimes.
Yeah, maybe there will be certain episodes where we say,
but
I
would
would doing
say
away with this rule because this is a
um,
very unorganized episode.
I would say if it's even if it is related, if it goes on too long, it counts as a point.
Yeah.
And we'll determine what too long is.
Yeah. This is very subjective.
Like right now. Anyways, you're the master. You can edit out whatever. You got to keep the tangent points bit in though.
Yes.
Because the listeners have to know about that. And eventually, if we have enough listeners and if we actually get a big following and we're like, hello, we're big podcasters. I'm just saying, I want a guy, not us, because it's too much work, to make a spreadsheet of the tangent points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So get on it.
All right.
Anyways, haunted roads, highways, etc.
Yes.
In America?
I did not keep it to just America.
Oh, nice, because I heard there's a lot in the UK.
I got some. I got
probably all over the world.
I got a list here that has
Because America,
a few from around the world.
oh nice.
Yeah. There's some technical things going on with one of our chords. I'm not sure which one it is. Anyway,
It doesn't feel like
I think
mine.
it's fine.
Haunted roads.
Yeah.
They don't have that in America.
Yeah, I just went about this real simply and
Wow, I love this.
found a list of
Look at the font. It's like
haunted
Arial.
roads.
Is that Arial?
I'm not sure.
Helvetica.
Yeah.
Helvetica. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
We're familiar with our fonts.
dangerousroads.org.
Oh, I have one from that website.
Oh,
and
do
yeah,
you?
it's the most plain.
Yeah.
Screenshot it. It's the most plain website ever.
I kind of appreciate it, but
it's straight to the point.
dangerousroads.org. I've got a couple other lists. Travelleisure.com. List.
Yeah, and I got a couple
25.com.
specific roads. I got articles on very specific roads, not a whole list.
Yeah,
but,
I got a weird New Jersey.
Yeah, Clinton Road. That's one
Clinton
I got.
Road. Okay, well,
Because I heard, as far as I've researched, Clinton Road is like one of the weirdest, spookiest roads.
yeah,
in
there's
America.
quite a few spooky things that
can happen
there.
Yeah.
A lot of haunted roads just have like one or two spooky
Or
things.
it's just purely just like
yeah.
BS, like none of it's real.
But Clinton Road has a whole list of spooky
It has
things.
enough where I think there could at least the community around it believes in it enough to keep the legend alive.
Yeah.
And, while it is Spooktober, I'm not going to be like the skeptic the whole time and like ruin everything.
Well, it's the local legend.
It's just
it's
like
one of those types of things.
With anything like this, especially
it's unlike Route 666.
there's
which is near us. It's close enough to us that it could be considered like kind of local.
Yeah.
But there's not.
There's not anything
people
about
don't
it.
talk about it. It's
Yeah,
not
the
like
only
a
thing.
local legend.
Well, and it's not. Well, I think if it was still called Route 666 on the maps and on the sign, then I think I'd driven on it a long time ago when it still was.
Oh, really?
Like it was still called that.
I probably didn't.
I remember my dad. Yeah, he told me about it, and he was like,
First time I would have driven through that area was about a decade ago,
yeah.
and that was after.
Well, yeah, I used to travel out west a lot, and we would have to go that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clinton Road.
Clinton Road, yeah. It's in New Jersey, as mentioned. I don't know specifically where in New Jersey.
New Jersey countryside.
Yeah,
I
New Jersey's
assume.
not that big of a state, so it's you could find it's probably easy
I
to
heard
find.
it's got a great countryside. Give credit.
But there's a whole list of things,
Garden
and
State.
my favorite one that I read about is the ghost of the little boy.
Yeah, you like throw a coin and he'll throw it back.
There's like two different. Well, there's a few different like versions of it. There's one that says like, if you stand at a bridge, throw off a coin, he'll throw it back to you. But there's like multiple bridges on Clinton Road, and it's people make different claims on which bridge it is that the haunted boy lives under. But I heard one account that said, "Oh, but if you stand too close to the side of the bridge, the boy might try to push you off of it."
Yeah, and apparently the boy, I don't know when, but let's just say a long time ago, he got fell under the bridge and he slowly died. I was listening to a podcast about this.
Yeah. So it's
how ironic.
The ghost lives under the bridge.
Yeah, it lives under the bridge, and you throw a coin and throw it back, but if you go too close, try to push you in.
Yeah.
This article.
I thought that was.
This article says New Jersey's Clinton Road is known for an incredible amount of strange tales connected to it. Mob hitmen. That's just New Jersey.
Yeah, there's also a lot of
just shit that happens,
just crazy shit that's not supernatural. KKK meetings
up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Well, I know,
New Jersey,
but it's more of a
KKK is around the whole country.
No, I know that's the unfortunate.
But KKK meetings, Satanist cults and stuff like that.
Yeah, satanic rituals, ghosts, bizarre creatures with red eyes. That's just your.
Yeah.
That's just the light shining in your eyes. Menacing pickup trucks. Ooh, menacing. Imagine a menacing pickup truck. Close your eyes. I imagine it's a bit rusty. It's got the Punisher logo on the back. And
a Punisher logo that is with a blue
clearly
with a blue stripe line. With a blue line on it. That's just clearly.
And there's a skeleton on it.
A Punisher logo that makes it clear that whoever's driving the truck knows nothing about the Punisher.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I see those all the time. I'm like,
well, there is some comedian who is like, the Punisher. His main superpower is a blatant disrespect for the law.
Yeah.
But cops love
the Punisher,
logo, though.
By the way, Punisher hates cops.
Didn't Marvel stop using the Punisher, the old logo?
Well, the old one is not the one that's used. It's a modern Punisher logo that they use on the stickers.
Yeah, but they since then have changed in the comics the Punisher logo again.
I think they went back though. I think they did change it during that, when it was. Alt-right was. But
I mean, there is one story.
But no, there's
a story I've heard of.
I hate it.
A ghost pickup truck or a ghost semi truck on Clinton Road that will drive behind you with its lights brights on and will try to run you off the road.
Yeah. Piss off, ghost! What an asshole, ghost! With the brights. Yeah. I mean, I already have to deal with that with just living people.
Yeah,
turning off their brights.
I hate brights.
I mean, I love them, but I hate it when people don't turn them off and when they're dicks. And by the way, I just wanted to say, so the little Punisher tangent, that fit within the conversation. It doesn't constitute as a point.
Natural.
If it went on, let's say, another 3 to 5 minutes, then
that was a natural tangent.
That was a natural tangent.
That was related.
That wasn't just us talking about whatever.
I was clarifying information.
Yeah. So that does not count as a tangent point. I just want to keep that clear. But yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of people. They put a GoPro on their car. They drive through Clinton Road at night, of course, and they they do the coin thing. And they probably fake it, unless there actually is just someone that goes down there to throw the coin back, or it is a ghost. I don't know, but
I wouldn't say that I don't believe in ghosts, but I've never had an experience with one.
I've only had
I'm enough of a skeptic where I'm like, until I actually have an experience, I'm gonna.
I've had some
skeptical.
sus things happen, but I've never straight up seen a ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But whenever I hear about stuff, if people sound terrified, I'm not going to be like, well, actually, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just listen to their story.
I'm not a dick about it.
Yeah. Actually, that was probably just
Either way, even if I don't believe someone actually experienced a ghost, I enjoy a good ghost story.
Or maybe someone had
I listen to their stories.
I love it. Yeah.
There's a castle on Clinton Road, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks spooky.
I don't know much about this castle, but says, let's see.
What does it say about it?
I'm trying to...
I love how there's just like a random-ass castle in a state.
Yeah.
In a country that's not old enough to have castles. Just some rich guy that decided. There's a castle in Oklahoma that just some rich guy decided to build that he wanted.
Yeah. Let me see. I didn't pay much attention to that part of it, but I thought it would be cool to mention. Cross Castle. Yeah, Castle. This is straight from weirdnewjersey.com. weirdnj.com. Castles seem to have always been inspired the imagination. Cross Castle is no exception. For centuries, writers have chosen mountaintop castles as a setting for their tales.
Well, yeah, in this article I'm reading from Daily News about Clinton Road, they say, Clinton Road feels lonely rather than unsettling during the daytime. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as it's... See, I mean, any road, especially out in the country somewhere, can be spooky at night. Hell, even in the city, like if it's empty especially, it's getting into...
Cross Castle is an abandoned road. Apparently... teenagers go to party there.
But,
sometimes.
like getting into liminal space territory again, just like a empty, highway.
Yeah.
No cars. There's nothing particularly. There's nothing happen. You don't see anything weird, but it's just that unsettling feeling of loneliness and
basically Cross Castle is just like there's local legends about it being haunted, but it's also a popular spot for teenagers to go party.
Of course. Let's get the keg. Let's party at the castle.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's an abandoned property, so of course that's where.
Yeah, no one's gonna stop them.
Yeah, there was a place in my hometown that I remember hearing. There was like an abandoned lot, kind of up this dirt road, on the mountain base, because where I lived was right, on like the base of the foothills of the mountains.
Oh yeah,
and there was this abandoned lot up there in the woods that
let's go smoke some doobies.
Yeah, I remember hearing stories of it being haunted, but it was also the kegger spot.
Yeah,
and I never experienced any haunted shit going on there. It didn't even seem very creepy to me. But I remember hearing stuff about it. But abandoned lots, you go party. That's what you do when you're a high school kid.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would do. And it's actually quite sad.
Yeah.
But there's a couple urban legends back home in Oklahoma that I could mention, which I don't, they're just urban legends, but one, and many states have this one. When I was looking it up, like every state basically has this, or a lot of them. Crybaby Bridge. There's always a Crybaby Bridge, where supposedly you'll hear a baby crying under it at night at a certain time. And we had a Crybaby Bridge by a lake, by a big ass lake.
Okay, yeah, I've heard stories like that. We didn't have one near where I grew up, but
and when I was little, I did believe it because I believe it.
Maybe it's partly because we didn't have like rivers where I grew up, so all the bridges were like highway overpasses where homeless people hung out. So
lonely country bridge.
Yeah, so all the bridges near where I grew up were like, if you heard something crying, it's just probably like a junkie.
Yeah.
So you leave.
Which can also be freaky.
Which is maybe even freakier.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's supposedly, I forgot if there was like a certain time, but like at night, if you stay there, like you'll hear a baby crying. And I remember someone did it, or obviously, I don't know. I remember like really believing it and being there at night. And my dad really convinced me that it was real and everything. And my sister convinced me that it was real. And, you know, this was when I was real young, just like 5-6 years old. And but I do not recall, and I know I would remember this because it would be a shocking thing. I do not recall a crying baby. But I just remember the idea of it scaring me enough than anything actually happening.
It's freaky.
And also, a lot of times, we would be out on the lake all day and be driving back home at night, and we would go over the bridge at night. And like
probably. I mean, I grew up in an area where there wasn't a lot of stories of haunted stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty newly developed area.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
But my dad, when I was little, he worked in the next town over, Riverside, California, which is older and has a lot more like haunted, spooky stuff. The one I remember most is there's this like park there, and it's a big rock formation. So like a hill, kind of like you see it in the Southwest a lot. These like hills with a bunch of rock formations and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's people go there hiking, people go there for rock climbing, all sorts of stuff. It's called Mount Rubidoux.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stories about it being haunted. The one I remember is that you go there at night, and the story is that there's these like little goblin, little people, like creatures that haunt it.
Spooky. I hate. Yeah, I had for a little while. I had a thing with little people, and I know my uncle did as well. He always told me about it. He was like, "Yeah, I hate like Chucky and like little people, little goblins, little."
Oh yeah, like goblins and trolls.
Yeah,
and
stuff like that.
Little things like that.
And I have there's the most famous.
It sounded really bad for a second when you said I had a thing with little people.
No, I didn't say that, Colton.
You did say that.
I said I had, and then you
did say that, and then you clarified you meant like goblins and things like that.
Oh yeah, no, I had a scary thing with little people. Yeah,
not little people.
Yeah, like
leprechauns and
Wee Man.
And Wee Man. I always loved Wee Man.
A wild Wee Man has appeared.
Wee Man was my favorite on Jackass.
Oh, he's always my favorite.
Yeah, I always loved Wee Man.
Yeah. No, but another big scary thing, supposedly in Oklahoma, the Spook light. And I believe it's somewhere off of Route 66.
Ooh. I grew up like a mile from
and apparently,
Route 66.
From my research, there's a lot of haunted just locations along Route 66. Yeah. It is America's, the mother of highways, or whatever they call it. The America's.
It was the longest highway when it was built.
It was like one of the original cross-country highways.
It goes from...
It
goes from California all the way to... Geez, like Mississippi? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it goes all the way from Chicago to L.A.
Oh, does it go to Chicago?
Route 66?
Right, yeah.
Route 66, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
I grew up
special.
about a mile off the road from Route 66.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it goes through my hometown. It's not called Route 66, it's called Foothill Boulevard. But in that town, but it is Route 66 though.
But yeah, the spook lights are in the tri-state area of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And they supposedly, like, on the road, you'll see like these floating lights in the distance, and
I feel like a lot of haunted roads
like
involve,
float
like,
over
floating
you
lights
and like
shit, like
stuff like that. And yeah, it's in Quapaw, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And apparently, so according to legend, the spook light was first seen by Indians along the infamous Trail of Tears in 1836. However, the first official report occurred in 1881 in a publication called the Ozark Spook Light. The ball of fire, described as varying from the size of a baseball to a basketball, dances and spins down the center of the road at high speeds, rising and hovering above the treetops, before it retreats and disappears. Others have said it sways from side to side, like a lantern being... Yeah, I always heard it was like a lantern or something. In any event...
It kind of makes it creepier.
Yeah, it does. In any event, the orange fire-like ball was reportedly been appearing nightly for well over 100 years. According to locals, the best time to view the spook light is between the hours of 10 p.m. and midnight and tends to shy away from large groups and loud sounds. I think one time we tried to go see it and we didn't see anything. But it was creepy in the woods and everything. I mean, that was enough for me.
Yeah.
But many explanations have been presented over the years, including escaping natural gas, reflecting car lights and billboards, and will-o'-the-wisp. That's not an explanation. The will-o'-the-wisp, that's that you're going down a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's like it's like you see it's like if you see it's like if you were to see a ghost and you'd be like, no, hold on.
I can explain it.
I'm going to explain it logically.
Yeah.
It's obviously not a ghost. It's probably an apparition created by a wizard.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's not a better explanation than a ghost.
So, as to the theory of escaping natural gas, which is common in marshy areas, the hornet light or spook light is seemingly not affected by wind or rain, and how would it self-ignite? The idea that it might be a will-o'-wisp is discounted, as the biological phenomenon does not display the intensity of the ball light seen during along the Devil's Promenade. Explanations of headlights or billboards are easily discarded, as the light is seen years before automobiles or billboards, and before even a road existed. So it has been reported, for a while, but I think it actually is natural gas, something going on.
Huh. It is kind of cool when
Route 66 news.
Haunted sightings and stuff like that can actually sometimes be actually explained.
So, Spooklight legend was debunked more than 70 years ago. For decades, locals of the tri-state... This is from Route 66 News, very kind of similar looking website to the Highway Road News. I wonder if they're partners.
Maybe.
But for decades, locals of the tri-state area of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas have talked about the so-called spook light phenomenon that occurs on the country road near the hamlet of Hornet, Missouri. It's been described as a flickering ball of light, yada, yada, yada. Here's one catch. It's not so unsolved. I was aware William Lee's Heat Moon, best known for best-selling Blue Highways, wrote his 2008 book, Roads the QOs. The spook light was created by distant automotive headlights along Route 66 to the west. But the solving of the mystery goes back further. Writer Paul W. Johns, who's been writing for the Marshfield Mail and Christian Country Headliner newspapers in Missouri, recently wrote a series about the spook light. Okay, that's the whole series. I don't want to click those links. Let's just say Johns has done a lot of good research from contemporary newspaper accounts about the phenomenon. Namely, in 1945, Dr. George W. Ward, formerly of the National Bureau of Standards and of the Midwest Research Institute, first theorized the spook light was caused by a refraction of automobile headlights to the west and over the distant range of hills that created a visual effect of a moving, bouncing light. About a year later, Major Thomas Sherd of Camp Crowder near Neosho, Missouri, investigated. Major armed with a engineer's transit, a telescope, and walkie-talkies, investigated. From Spooklight Road, he used his telescope to spy an area about 10 miles to the west, where the lights might originate. Next, he used an airplane to survey the terrain from Spooklight Road to the area he figured was where the light originated, and found a road that was in line of sight Spooklight Road. Figuring that it was an automobile headlamps that created the spook light, he stationed an automobile there, and after dark, he had flashed his headlights. The observers back at Hornet saw the signal flashes, thus proving Major Sherd's theory. So, basically, if you didn't get it from that, what happens is in the distance, in the rolling hills, the light refracts in away from headlights where it looks like a ball. But what's interesting is that supposedly it was reported back in the 1800s, but that could have been someone with a lantern or a carriage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like lights existed back then.
It's
so,
explained, but still,
but what I really
still
like
kinda
about
freaky,
it,
though.
it's always an urban legend I heard about, and that was popular around our area. That was spooky.
I personally find,
and what I appreciate
when an urban legend gets explained,
when there's
like,
actually
logically,
people that research it, when it's enough of a thing that actually is happening, where it has to be explained.
Yeah, I find when there's an urban legend like something like that gets explained like logically through like research and stuff, it doesn't ruin the legend, in my opinion. It
takes away the mystery, obviously,
but at the same time, it's still like it also grounds the legend.
It grounds the legend, but it's enough where what I like about it, it makes it tangible. It's like this actually is happening.
Yeah, well, it's like me as a very skeptical person. If someone were to tell me there's a ghost story, a haunted hotel, I'm like, okay, that's a cool story. But I'm skeptical, so unless I experience it, I won't believe it. But then they come to me and say,
I think you're on the right track.
There's actually a scientific explanation for what people have been seeing.
I think
to me, as a person who didn't believe in the ghost in the first place, I go, oh, well, it's still a cool story, and now you have this thing to add to it that's also interesting.
I think you're on the right track, but I think whether it's scientifically explained or they actually find an explanation or not, I think if it's enough where it warrants research, like if it's actually a thing that's happening,
it makes it more of a tangible thing as well.
Now, if they come out and they're like, we don't know what the fuck it is, then that makes it spookier. Because then it was actually...
cool is even if there is like a scientific explanation that takes away from the spookiness of it, it's still tangible enough where you go, okay, well, you might experience that. You could go out there and that could happen to you. And that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, it's like if Bigfoot was finally categorized and scientifically explained. That doesn't make Bigfoot any less...
Now, these aren't highway related, but they're on Route 6. This is all Route 66.
But here's the thing, Colton. Imagine a scenario where through science...
Should I open up a Colorado Kolsch or a Fellowship?
The Fellowship. But imagine, through science and rigorous testing, plenty of scientists test it. It goes through everything you got to do to get a theory and everything. And then they prove that, ghosts are real, and here's the explanation. Like, imagine that. Like, if that just happened.
That'd be wild. I'd be like, whoa, that's... like I said...
Like Ghostbusters, where it's
like I said,
grounded in science.
I'm a skeptic, but I won't go as far as to say I definitely believe that ghosts don't exist.
Yeah.
I've never experienced...
I've
never personally had a haunting.
I think a problem, with the scientific community... and dipping their feet into anything like that seems like so obviously fictitious. It's just urban legends. I think if there's enough of it happening, I think it could be investigated. But I think the problem is they wouldn't want to investigate it because it would ruin their credibility.
Yeah,
because even if one researcher from,
I think it's more like a lot of researchers say, okay, it's not that they wouldn't want to investigate it, because you and me have both been to college. We know the types of people who would go on to get these degrees and stuff. But and every single science major I've met would love to investigate paranormal shit.
Yeah.
They just know it's probably a waste of their time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to do it.
And you know what? I'm a firm believer of that. There's still plenty, actually, a shit ton of things that we still cannot explain with science.
Yeah.
At least not now.
Yeah.
With our current
I have a degree in history, and me as a historian, I would love to spend my time investigating if there's any truth to Greek myths. But I know that would likely be a waste of time.
Here's a good tangent. For as far as I know, for a long time, the whole Legend of Troy and the Iliad,
Troy existed,
was thought to be myth.
Yeah,
and then what's his name blew it up where he thought it was, and actually blew up a lot of the ruins.
Yeah.
TNT.
Yeah, back like in the late 1800s or some, whatever. Yeah.
He was right that it was real.
Yeah. No. Troy existed. In fact, Troy was destroyed and rebuilt many times. And you can see this in the layers of the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
On the
built
layer,
on top of,
and at least one of these layers is about the era, the time period that the Trojan War would have happened. Mm-hmm. There are arrowheads and things like that, and a bunch of evidence implying that the city was attacked and burned.
Yep.
Implying, during exactly the time when Homer said that the Trojan War happened, Troy was attacked.
Yeah, and I
sacked.
think that's a case of Homer just embellishing history.
Oh, yeah.
Making it
well, you think about
fun, interesting.
Homer, I mean, the way things are described in the Odyssey.
The stories were passed on orally.
And they were passed on orally, and also there's historical I guess.
But like, if you embellish a story, if you romanticize it, it would be naturally easier to remember.
Yeah, but even the romanticized version that Homer might have written that
still has true through lines.
It still has true through lines, and it also is still historically relevant because Homer was writing it from his time period. So
yeah, exactly.
So when he's describing armor or weapons or people, he's actually describing the time period he was writing. So
he's explaining.
It's still even valid as a historical document.
Explaining it the way he would explain it in that time period.
You can analyze it as okay, what can we learn about Homer's time period?
And I mean,
it's
even for a young country like the U.S., we romanticize history literally all the time.
Oh yeah,
we base our culture off of romanticized history.
Maybe we do it too much.
We mythologize the West. We mythologize our founding. All that.
Yeah.
So.
I see it all the time where, like, Americans say to British people, like, oh, we kicked your ass in the revolution. Like, no.
No, we survived.
No. We gave them a hard enough time that the British decide this is not worth the fucking effort. Yeah. Because you think of it from a British perspective, they had a whole empire of colonies. We were just a few of them.
Yeah. But they didn't know I will say...
And the French were
They regretted it
too.
because they didn't know the actual vastness of North America at that time.
They had an
idea, but
idea of it. Well, I mean, that was part of the French, the War of 1812, because the War of 1812 was not just a war. You know, the reasons for the War of 1812 had a lot to do with Native American nations that were sided with the British, allowing the British to operate in their territory, but the United States was going, no, this is our territory. So there was conflict there.
In Canada.
And there's other stuff related to other things, but that's a whole tangent. This counts as a tangent, though.
I would say that's a tangent.
Yeah, so
you went on one of your historical tangents that, in fact, that whole thing was a big tangent.
Yeah.
I have to be aware of it. So we have four tangent points.
I did bring up here a list that I found that was interesting, because we were talking about Route 66. It's a famous route, a lot of haunted stuff. And I thought it'd be cool to go through this list.
You mean just Route 66?
Yeah, Route 66.
666.
Oh, no, I said 66. At least I think I said that. I sometimes...
Maybe you stuttered and it sounded like...
66.
Yeah.
So I
by the way, I just want to say this Two-Town Cider House Hollow Jack, pretty good. You want to try?
I'll take a sip, yeah.
I don't have worms.
For a pumpkin spice type of thing, that's actually pretty good.
Because it's not too strong on it.
No. Still tastes like a cider. It's on the sweeter side for a cider.
Which they can be.
But that's not always a bad thing. And that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite good.
And I'm drinking the Fellowship IPA right now. It's pretty good. You can have one of these if you like. Nice. But anyway, I got this list real quick, and I'm just going to breeze through it real quick. Haunted and creepy places on
Route 66.
Yeah, so these aren't legends about the actual interstate, but...
wouldn't that constitute as a haunted road if it has a lot of
that's
haunted locations?
That's why that's how I'm justifying this list.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be kind of cool. So we got Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona. Opened in 1927. Big hotel. It's haunted. Spoiler, all these places are supposed to be haunted.
Yeah. A lot of big hotels are supposed to be, too.
The Merrimack Caverns in Stanton, Missouri.
It
was the famous hideout of Jesse James. Apparently.
Oh, wow.
Stanton, Missouri.
Here's one I don't know about.
The
I might have heard of it.
Mansion in Claremont, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I've only been. I had a friend that was from Claremore.
I've
never been there.
Yeah, I said Claremont. It's because there's a Claremont in California.
There's also a museum in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
It's a beautiful house.
The Philbrook Museum, which is supposedly haunted, very haunted.
Oh, yeah.
And it is creepy. It's a creepy museum.
Nice.
It's old oil money that built it, and it just gives off like, we shouldn't be in here. Like, it's kind of weird that there's a museum here.
Yeah.
And they had King Tut there one time. And I'm sure that always brings
I saw this King Tut
voodoo,
exhibit once. Yeah. The Oatman Hotel in Oatman, Arizona.
Now, what's
built in 1902? Originally called the Drulin Hotel, and it provided rooms to miners. But after the mines closed down, Route 66 travelers filled the rooms. Among the travelers were Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. That's cool. The
staff report. I'm reading the haunted part, Colton. The staff reported hearing the couple laughing and whispering together when their room was empty. Go back to the Oklahoma. I want to see what it says about it.
I mean, it's probably
it's a short one.
Stuff.
Yeah, like a guy built it. And
that's why I'm.
And then he died.
Through most of it.
So, John M. Bayliss began construction of a Victorian-style Belvedere mansion in the early 1900s. He died before he could see it completed. Okay, of course, you have the die part. His family completed the home after his death and continued to live there until 1919. Good for them. However, some say the spirits never left. Today, the mansion is on the National Register of Historic Places. Oh, that's cool. Visitors at the haunted place have heard toilet... I love it. They've heard toilet flush on their own. I felt someone had touched them when they were completely alone. Well, let me tell you something. I've been in a lot of hotels with really thin walls, and you hear toilet flushes a lot.
Yeah. The Natatorium in Amarillo, Texas.
However, a spooky toilet flush, that can get you.
It can, yeah. I was hearing some weird stuff in my apartment today.
Neighbors.
I thought I was hearing voices and stuff like in the other
Probably
room.
were.
Yeah.
Because neighbors.
The Natatorium in Amarillo, Texas started as a nightclub.
I'm not a fan of Amarillo.
Yeah.
It's just
became a music venue, attracting artists like Buddy Holly and Little Richard.
Nice.
Apparently haunted. The Rialto Theater.
The thing about Amarillo, real quick, it's the armpit of America.
Oh, yeah. So the Rialto Theater, Pasadena, California. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to tell you anything about the Rialto Theater because we talked about it in our Haunted Places episode. Was it last year at Spooktober?
We did? We talked about this
one? We talked about the Rialto Theater. So go listen to the Haunted Places episode.
I think that was the first Spooktober.
From the first Spook... I think you're right. From the first Spooktober.
But just a quick spark notes on it.
It's a haunted theater.
But, like, what's the thing that happens?
Haunted stuff.
Wow.
Voices, apparition.
You're really trying to push people to that episode, aren't you?
Well, honestly, it says, here's one. It says the women's bathroom stalls are set to shake on their own, and there's a ghost of a man, who went insane
I heard about that one.
in the projector room. Yeah.
But you had many more details about that.
Yeah.
I think.
Check out the Haunted Places episode on one of our past Spooktobers. The number 4, the Inn at 835 in Springfield, Illinois. Built in the early 1900s. It was the brainchild of businesswoman
the Gilcrease Museum.
Miller.
Yeah, it's the Gilcrease Museum, not the Philbrook. I've been there, and it is very freaking dude. Every time I've been there,
that's number 3, Gilcrease Museum in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I've been there as a child. I've been there as a teenager, as a adult, every time I've been there, I get the heebie-jeebies. Like, it's a creepy place.
The museum was a passion project of Thomas Gilcrease, who passed away in 1962. Museum visitors have spotted Gilcrease wandering the grounds. The staff have numerous stories of doors slamming on their own and ghostly children running around the historic
I remember,
site.
I'm pretty damn sure there was a time I was parked by it after a concert, played a jazz gig, and in fact, we were supposed to play a jazz gig there one time, but didn't work out. But anyways, parked there, I was waiting for a friend, and I do remember, and it was most likely probably just actual kids. I remember seeing like some kids running around in there, but it was like, it wasn't like 8 o'clock. No, it was like midnight. So that was a little weird. But yeah, the Gilcrease Museum. Oh.
Yeah, and then the next one is
the Ghost Light of Joplin.
Joplin, Missouri. It's on the Missouri-Oklahoma border.
And it's a separate ghost light? Because it's not in Joplin, the one I was talking about.
The Joplin Ghost Light, also known as the Hornet Light, in Joplin, Missouri.
It must be in that area. There must be something going on with the environment.
Yeah.
It does get a little marshy, a little swampy there.
Yeah.
And I will say,
and here we go. This
Route
is what we're leading up to.
666 outside Gallup. Yeah, I was just in Gallup a couple days ago. Had to pee there.
I don't like Gallup.
Had to do a pee-pee-poo-poo.
I don't like Gallup.
Let's see what it says. So,
all right.
Well, technically, not technically part of Route 66. Yeah, okay. The devilishly named Route 666 is a close proximity to the historic road. The supposed satanic stretch of highway runs from Utah to New Mexico, where it meets the Mother Road outside Gallup. It should come as no surprise that Route 666 is the site of some truly creepy, unexplained phenomenon. Drivers are reported being chased by a pack of vicious, rabid dogs running at high speed. That's probably
just res dogs.
Res dogs.
Or coyotes.
Yeah, either way.
Nothing weird there.
There have also been several stories of mysterious... Oh, I did not hear about this
mysterious black
sedan.
Did
I see a black sedan? I might have seen a black sedan, but what's so scary about that?
I've seen black sedans on
the highway.
On that highway.
Several stories of a mysterious black sedan speeding down the highway.
How is that haunted?
What's so spooky about a black sedan?
Yeah, I've seen black sedans.
Is there just something off-putting about it? Like
I've seen black sedans on this highway.
Perhaps an uncanny sedan where you can't quite put your finger on it.
Maybe.
But
I've seen black sedans
not like that Prius.
on this highway, but I just was like, that's a normal-ass car.
It's a persnickety Prius.
Persnickety Prius.
But when the vehicle seems to rapidly speed toward them, drivers pull over to avoid getting hits. That could just be a local, like a drunk.
Yeah.
Seconds later... the Phantom car seems to disappear with trace. It was renamed US 491 in 2003.
Yeah.
And I believe I've driven through there before 2003. I'm very sure. When I was little.
About 90% sure I did not. But
I'm 90% sure I have, because we used to go to California all the time, and we would go that way.
You would. Yeah, from that
You
way.
would. Unless you want to go on Route 66, but... The thing about actually driving on Route 66, you can, but...
It's stupid and slow.
Yeah, it's going to be way slower. However, I heard a lot of bikers like doing that because you don't have to worry about other traffic.
That's true. No. If you're in it for the road trip,
for the road trip, you're not in a rush.
Then do it.
You want to do it? Yeah, do it.
Otherwise, take
I'm surprised that's the
Interstate
top...
40. Like,
I'm surprised that's the top one, because... I've been on, and what I will say is just like, yeah, it's a creepy highway at night.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of
basically
nowhere in New
Mexico. There's at least like 3 or 4 times.
Gallup's a sus town, a lot of crime.
I think there's at least 3 or 4 times I've driven down Route 666 at midnight.
That is kind of the weird coinkity.
I've never experienced anything spooky other than your typical driving at night.
But I will say I drove through it with the big supermoon, and and I was the only one awake, and I was driving, and I was already getting tired. So when you get to a certain level of tired, anything can become scary.
At least one of the times when I drove through.
Well, I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't that tired yet.
At least one of the times when I drove through that area, it was like pitch black.
Oh yeah, it's
at
dark
least one
there,
of the times.
dude. Yeah.
But no, I didn't see anything spooky other than the typical tricks your eyes play when you're tired,
Yeah, I mean, also,
driving in the middle of the night.
Also, I'm the kind of driver, if I just so happen to see a ghost in the corner of my eye or whatever,
I'm not gonna
I
look
would
at
just
it.
keep fucking driving.
Yeah.
Like, and also...
What's the ghost gonna do? Chase after me?
That'd be
I'm
fucking
going
T-1000
I'm
style.
going 75 down the highway. It's like,
But I could see,
Yeah, like
there's all
Terminator.
kinds of things I could see that if I'm on a road trip and I'm just trying to get back home and I'm tired, I wouldn't care.
oh,
I
but
just wouldn't
also,
care.
my headlights are,
I
they're not
simply-
bad, but they're not the best. And I find when I'm driving in the middle of the night, I'm focusing on the road.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that yellow line, making sure
Now,
I'm
okay.
not driving off the road.
I will state that if a ghost just popped up in the middle of the road,
Oh, that would freak me out.
that would freak me, because then I would think maybe
would-
I'm going to hit somebody.
Yeah, I would swerve. I would, yeah.
Because I've seen, and dude, this is a whole other topic, and it's not a tangent because it's related, sort of, because it's spooky, it's haunted, it's ghost stuff.
If
But-
there has been any ghosts
listen,
on that highway when I've driven past it, I didn't notice.
You didn't notice, yeah.
I was paying it. I was listening to music and paying attention to
Yeah.
what's right in
Oh,
front
I'm
of me.
always listening to music, especially at night.
Oh yeah,
You're not going to catch me not.
yeah. You got to keep
There
yourself
might be
awake.
yeah, especially if I'm tired.
Yeah.
But and it helps with the creepy factor if you're listening to some ska
Yeah,
or
some-
maybe some Weezer,
some real big fish or something.
yeah, real big fish. Yeah, but you know, but I will say maybe one day if we start doing more live stream type stuff, there's a lot of like straight up crazy Arab ghost videos.
Oh
From, like,
yeah.
Saudi Arabia, like over there, like a
You know-
lot
you
of
know,
crazy.
here's something
shit.
we should
and like
do.
shit that like the guy is like, he's like basically make sure to subscribe and everything, like drop and
Yeah,
subscribe.
yeah.
But then he goes into an abandoned warehouse and there's a witch lady, and I'm like, dude, ghost or not, there's crackheads in there, like.
Yeah, yeah. You and me both grew up in places where it's like abandoned building. No, there's a tweaker in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A whole pack of them.
Stay away. They will mug you.
Yeah. Or stab you, shank
or
you.
stab you, or something.
Yeah.
We have talked about doing a recording episode while driving on a road trip. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe we record.
Maybe we go on one of these
while
spooky
driving
roads.
down Route 666.
Yeah, because that's the closest one to us.
Yeah, it would actually.
Unless
be very,
we went up to.
it'd be pretty easy for us.
There's
to do
one
that.
by Denver, which I might be living there.
Yeah.
But so one of the most haunted. This is from 9 News. I believe it's a local. It's a Denver news station. But one of the most haunted roads in the U.S. is just a few miles from Denver. An 11-mile stretch of road between Brighton and Thornton is home to urban legends of hauntings and phantom, and because it's Colorado, phantom joggers. Okay, I don't need the whole life story of this lady that but let's see, why not? Takes a lot to scare Stephanie Smith. She's one of the co-founders of Denver Ghost Hunters. We should join them, or we should start our own competing thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've always talked about ghost busting places.
We should do some ghost busting.
I have the equipment now. I have the we have the costumes.
We have the
Let's
the
just
gear,
go on in
yeah.
and be like, hey, we heard about ghosts here. We're gonna bust it.
We'll just down some beers.
Yeah,
Go around town,
just right outside the building.
Because that's normal, and
Well, you know,
actually no. In the town we live in,
it's normal.
around
It is
Halloween
normal.
time,
It's very normal.
that is pretty normal.
No, but I like
Bunch of guys
no,
going down in some beers and going, "We're here to bust
Well,
ghosts."
around Halloween time, that's fine. You know, that's good. That's fitting. It's great. But it would be even funnier to do it just like in June.
We're here to bust some ghosts.
Like not even remotely close to spooky season. You know, just like we're gonna ghost bust it. Pay us in advance. No, but so yeah, it takes a lot to scare Stephanie Smith, co-founder of Denver Ghost Hunters, and spends a lot of time doing investigation in the city's spookiest of places. But she said she had a rare feeling of fear on Riverdale Road, a winding 11-mile. That's a pretty good stretch, 11-mile road for a road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That connects Brighton and Thornton. I found that one spot, and I think there's something here. I don't feel alone. You know what I mean? Smith said. We had a camera crew. Wow, they had the whole thing. We had a camera crew, visiting investigators. We're taking pictures, listening, trying to see if we're catching anything on camera. I start walking on this one side of the road. I start to feel really nervous. And it looked like, out in the distance, I could almost see the shape of a man. Probably one of your crew members. I remember these cowboy boots and that they were walking toward me, and I felt really freaked out. You're in Colorado. There's always a guy in cowboy boots walking towards you.
Yeah.
So I walked to the other side of the street, and I felt fine. Over the years, I've brought different groups to this area, and I don't tell them anything about it. So I have them walk where I walk, and a lot of people, especially women, have this feeling like someone's gonna get them. Not on the east side, only on the west side of the road. Riverdale Road has a history of alleged hauntings and urban legends, from the existence of literal gates of hell to the story of a man who lost his mind and burned his entire mansion while his family slept inside. Wow, that's heavy. The road is also home to so-called Joggers Hill, where the ghost of a murdered jogger is rumored to follow cars and tap on their sides. So just kind of, yeah, literally a jogger ghost. That's something a jogger would do.
Yeah.
Actually, they'd be like, hey, I'm here. Other urban legends involve a phantom Camaro and the vision of... I know, yeah, a ghost sedan. That's so vague. I like phantom Camaro. That's what I want to see.
Phantom Honda Odyssey.
A 2012 Phantom Odyssey. It just has a ghost sticker on it. Yeah.
No. It has a ghost sticker of a ghost family. You know how people...
Yeah, the ghost family. Because they
the...
died. So they became ghosts.
Yeah.
On the sticker. Of course, there's no real historical evidence of this anywhere outside of multiple blogs and videos of on YouTube. Yeah, probably guys just screaming in their camera and saying, "Oh my god!" So, yeah, and apparently cops hate having to deal with people like pulling pranks and shit there. Yeah, a lot of property damage and injury accidents on the road. No, it's the whole thing. Like, if you think something's supposed to be scary, and then you really get into it and you start doing stupid shit and people pulling pranks, and it becomes dangerous because of the idea of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't, honestly, from everything I'm reading about, just skimming, it doesn't really sound that scary. Let's say even if it is real, the ghosts are real, you see a ghost Camaro and a jogger. Okay. Why don't you just give me a ghost, the ghost of the long past John Wayne? That would be scarier.
That would be scary because John Wayne was like a piece of shit.
Yeah, he would.
I would be like, oh fuck,
throw slurs.
There's John Wayne here to be racist.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
There's a place.
I saw this.
There's a place in this town in our
Bill Burr was talking about.
I like to go have breakfast, and it's great. But they have a picture of John, like a photo, like frame, like painting of John Wayne on the wall, and I always just.
My great uncle loved John Wayne.
I just sit there.
But I don't think he knew
eating my hash browns and staring at John Wayne. I'm like, but it's good hash browns.
Yeah, because he did that one. Yeah, he did it a lot of best. But no, it's funny how. Oh yeah, Bill Burr. He was talking about John Wayne. He was talking about how people bring up stuff from way long ago, like, oh my god, I can't believe the thing he said, and because he was like, I hate it when people are like, oh my god, can you believe what John Wayne said in a Playboy magazine interview in the early 70s? And Bill Burr's like, yeah,
I can believe that.
The guy was born in 1907. That's just how they were back then.
Like, yeah, that's not surprising.
I can't believe that.
And someone were like, "Can you believe?"
He's like, "How do you can't?" He's like, "He already was canceled 40 years ago."
Yeah. No. No. Every once in a while, I do hear stuff like that where it's like, "Can you believe so and so said this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can." Yeah. Can you believe Jack Nicholson said something kind of shitty?
Or
yeah, he's like 70 years old and on drugs all the time. Yeah, I can believe that. Like,
I think he's even older than that.
Yeah, he's like 88 or something like that. Yeah.
Here's another one that I found interesting, because of the name mostly. I want to know about. I didn't read about it. I want to know about it right here, right now. Zombie Road, one of America's most haunted roads.
Came up in my research a bit.
In St. Louis County.
Yeah.
And I've been through there, through St. Louis a couple times, driving out east. You know, see the Gateway Arch. I've never been an arch because the elevator goes up anything. But in the city of Wildwood, there's a series of trails that cover a long-gone road that is still recognized as one of the most haunted roads in America. Zombie Road. I would... Stop it. Stop it, ads. Stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to read about this. Zombie Road. I was not a believer before. Totally a believer now, Alex Motozek said. Okay, good for him. On a night in 2013, after a horseback ride, she went for a late night walk in an area that's now in Merrimack Greenway, which is home to a series of trails like the Al Foster and Rock Hollow trails. Before that, the area was known for decades as Zombie Road. Quote, there are stories that everyone has heard of this trail, and my aunt was in town, so we thought we may as well go check it out. We were back quite a ways. The road wasn't paved when we were walking the trail originally, so the brush was very high. She admitted that it was a supernatural skeptic at the time. On the walk, she started feeling some strange sensations. There was pockets of colder air, she said. We hear this high-pitched squeal, almost sounding like it was from a teenage girl. Young woman, she said. As we hear this sound, I feel this sharp pain in my leg. Her and her aunt hurried from the woods, but when she got home, she saw a sinister surprise. Ooh. Spooky. There were scratches on my legs. Okay. She said she was wearing layers of leather riding chaps. None of her layers of clothing were torn. She assumes whatever scratched her wasn't of this world. Quote, I don't know any physical possible way I would have gotten scratched without there being some kind of marking on my half-chap leather. Yeah, you would think so. Well, markings on my pants or socks, no tears, no nothing. It wouldn't be the first time something inexplicable happened in this area. Documentary called Children of the Grave, also a banger Sabbath song. Spooky one. Maybe the Booth Brothers with Spooked Productions. Oh, I love that. Spooked Productions. Shows a paranormal team out at night with cameras along Zombie Road and a number of local interviews with residents of St. Louis County and police representatives. Five on Your Side spoke with one of the brothers, Christopher Booth. This is a lot of local reference. Oh, yeah, Five on Your Sides. That's the news. Okay. So the news team spoke with this guy, Christopher Booth, who's shared footage and photos of what he calls a shadow nest of children. A shadow nest of children.
Shadow
what?
It's a terrifying sentence.
That's terrifying imagery.
Yeah.
The more I try to think about it. Booth said the still images were captured 6 miles into the forest, and shadow images appeared on the film after the photos were developed. Listed as one of the most haunted roads in America, the original Zombie Road is said to sit atop the site of one of the largest Native American burial mounds in the country.
Wow.
It's rumored to be occupied by spirits of indigenous people, Confederate soldiers, children, industrial workers. The list goes on. No, a lot of these, and hell, even like in fiction, like Native American burial ground, if something's built there or there's something there.
It's the whole entire plot point behind Poltergeist.
The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, I will never mess with that.
Dude, I don't even take home rocks from, if I find a cool looking rock when I'm on like a national park or a reservation.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's something.
Like I if you ever, PSA for listeners, if you're ever on a native reservation or anything like that, you find something like an arrowhead or a piece of pottery.
Don't take it.
Don't take it. That's
not yours. And
it's
illegal.
It's illegal. No,
Yeah.
like seriously, don't take it. You can get in big trouble if you get caught. You
Yeah.
probably won't get caught, but don't take it. It's
Yeah. Well,
like,
not just because it's illegal. It's fucking messed up.
It's messed
wrong.
up and it's bad and it's illegal. But also, like, dude, I don't even take them like cool rocks and shit. I'm like, do you remember when we lived?
I'll tell you,
we lived with Tristan.
Yeah.
Who, if you listening, don't
used to occasionally be on.
Yeah. Back in the first season, of
early
the podcast,
days. Yeah.
we lived with him, and one time, I don't remember if it was you or me, went to Mesa Verde National Park.
Oh yeah, he had to burn sage and everything.
Yeah,
it was
he
me.
did. He did a whole thing like burning sage and stuff.
And I will say about Mesa Verde, and I'm sure there's stories about it and everything, but just from my experience, and this was just during the broad daylight, and they weren't doing any tours. They were doing some kind of maintenance or something down in the cliff dwellings. I forgot what they were doing, but I got to see like some of the little homes, like that were built under, like, slightly underground and everything. Got to see all that, and that was cool.
I was there
and
pretty recently.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, because it was just carved out of the side of this these cliffs, rock.
No, it's wild. But I remember asking him about it, and he basically said like the reason he did that, why it's taboo to go there.
Yeah,
because he's like, it's where people who are dead once lived.
Yeah,
like that's
and
it's
it was abandoned.
It's as simple as that. He's like.
Well, like, when it was discovered, they found, like, the dinnerware, pots and stuff, like, they left in a hurry.
Yeah.
The Anasazi people. And, no, when I was there, and this was in broad daylight, there was nothing to be spooky. However, I did feel just the sense of just very uneasy feeling. Like, I just felt like I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I felt like
that's the closest I've gotten to I've gotten to
very
having,
uneasy.
Like,
I did not feel
is
comfortable
just like
there.
that feeling of like I am not supposed to be here.
No, there's been plenty of times where I get those weird like intuitions, gut feelings, and if you're religious, it just depends on your outlook.
I'll admit, even on road trips, I've driving late at night and stuff like that. There's been a few times where I'm driving on a stretch of road where I'm like, I don't see anything. But I'm like, this is an uncomfortable.
No, there's been times where I just straight up I get scared for no apparent reason. Like, it's very hard to describe. It's kind of similar to the liminal space idea, where there's nothing inherently.
It's kind of related to that,
scary or even creepy about it.
It's uncomfortable.
But you're in an abandoned place where there used to be people living, and even if it was hundreds of years ago,
you just feel off,
or 1,000 years ago, it's just it's very off-putting. Yeah, it's like going into someone's house when they're not there. Like it's not your house, and it's just.
I mean, it's always weird. I remember when I was growing up, there were
I don't know, it's weird,
ruins of cabins, stone cabins, and stuff like that up in the mountains that were like, early settlers in California, and I would go up there with my friends and explore, and it always just felt weird. Not like spooky, just weird.
Yeah.
And I remember I took a trip over to Europe and going into the Roman ruins and stuff like that, and it's like most of it is cool, but like occasionally you're in a space there where you're just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Just existing here is weird. Not spooky, just off.
Well, yeah, it takes a little bit more for it to be spooky.
Yeah. Not like I think I'm haunted or I think it's like cursed or nothing like that. It's just like I'm standing in this space and I'm like, so this is off. Like I just feeling you can't shake.
Yeah, I mean, and we all get those moments of like gut feelings, intuition, where we have to. Our sixth sense or whatever, our third eye, whatever you believe in or want to believe in, is like telling something is off. Like, even though there's nothing that your regular five senses can't detect, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything weird, feeling, but you get that uneasy feeling, and it's strange.
It's weird.
It's just strange because it could happen in the most random places too. I mean, there's been times where, but yeah, driving down a road at night, I'll get that feeling sometimes. Other times I'm comfortable, but like, I think there's a lot of factors that contribute. It depends on how much you want to believe in something or what mindset you're in at the time, or just. But there's been plenty of times where I was doing, like with Mesa Verde, I wasn't going there because I was like, ooh, this is supposed to be spooky or whatever. But when I went there, and even not even going all the way into the dwellings, I just felt like I should not be here. I felt I just felt uncomfortable. This weird, just air of, it's like creepy. Just weird. And
yeah.
I've only been there once, and I really don't think I want to go there again. I mean, it's nice. It's awesome. I think it's the kind of thing where I think you should see it because it's really cool and interesting.
From an archaeological
perspective.
It's fascinating.
But, man, I can't explain. Like, I just felt strange there. Yeah. I have a road.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Nice. But I have at least one last specific road to talk about.
Very cool.
I do have a list, but yeah. Let me look at this list real quick. Maybe I can cruise. Oh, what are you looking at there? Oh, your Google Drive.
Yeah, I was just looking for a file that I don't think I have anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got one picked out. It's one I came across a couple times, heard about. Archer Avenue. And just south of Chicago in Justice, Illinois. It's probably one of the most haunted areas in the whole Chicago area. Along this route, there are a number of locations that boast more than their share of ghosts. Paranormal activity on the roadway seems to be anchored by both ends of cemeteries. At both ends by cemeteries, both of which have had their own ghost stories. Tucked away in Cook County, the most haunted part of the road is located between Resurrection Cemetery and St. James Sag Church. The road is paved and weaves its way through forests, lakes, and multiple cemeteries. Now, let me tell you about driving by or near cemeteries.
Yep.
On my way to my high school, back to school, I would drive by a big-ass cemetery. And I never really thought about it, but every once in a while I'd be like, man, that's a lot of dead people there. But it never, funnily enough, it never really creeped me out.
Last two summers in a row, I've worked at a cemetery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn and everything?
Yeah, that's what I did most of the time, but I did work at the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
I never found it creepy.
No,
It's not a particularly creepy cemetery.
It's unless it's like a creepy, like gothic one or whatever.
I mean, they can be creepy.
But I
don't find
my experience being at a cemetery.
If they're well maintained,
I just feel
I don't find
if it's creepy. Nice, but if it's dilapidated.
Maybe at night. I've never been at
night
when I was working there. I was never at night. I was from 7 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon type of thing.
Yeah,
never at night.
I always, every once in a while, especially this time of year, I'll see a thing. It's like, you have to stay at one night at the cemetery and you'll get $1 million. Can you do it? And I'm like, yeah. I'll do a lot.
I saw
do a lot worse for a lot less.
I saw some post online that was like, you work at a haunted cemetery. And you have to work there at night.
But you get like
cleaning and doing
benefits.
Maintenance and stuff. But you get like $80 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like shit. Like fuck yeah, I would do that.
I would do such a good job. There could literally be people performing satanic rituals.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Dude, yeah.
$80 an hour?
$80 an hour? Yeah.
Damn. Like there could be the biggest ghost in the world. There could be a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I would be there. So
yeah,
actually, that'd be pretty cool if Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was real. I love that scene in Ghostbusters. It just popped in my head. I couldn't help it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the road is paved and weaves away through many cemeteries. And so apparently, here's one of them. Ghostly monks haunt the areas around St. James Sag Church.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah, go on.
If you worked $80 an hour and you worked 40 hours a week,
yeah, typical
you'd be making
work week.
$150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I'll
cemetery came to me and said, we want you to clean and do maintenance on the cemetery, but you have to do it at night.
At night.
But if they were
During
like,
the
but it's
witching
40
hour.
hours a week, I'd be like, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, and I won't say that, hey, that might get to me after a while. It could be depressing or it could be spooky. But hey.
Here's the thing about working night shifts is it makes it very easy to save money.
Oh, yeah.
So you work night shifts, you could do that for a month, save all your money, and then be good for a while. You can quit.
Oh, shit.
You could quit if it was getting to you and then just be good.
Yeah, that'd be a good gig. Anything for $80 an hour.
Yeah. Anyway,
but that would be a salaried job, I would figure, though.
Yeah, probably for
that much pay.
For that much.
Yeah.
That's not the type of job that would be a salary.
But that pay.
But that pay would be salary.
Yeah. And if I was, if someone told me, actually, I can't come up with a thing. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. You have to literally shine this demon's shoes, but you get paid a lawyer's salary, like $4,000 out, and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'll shine the shoes on."
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the cemetery I worked at is that the one creepy thing, every morning, be there at 6:30 in the morning, or 7 sometimes, vultures.
Oh yeah.
Whole pack of them, like a couple dozen of them.
Very interesting.
Every morning, they just hang out up there in the trees. Yeah.
And that makes it spooky.
They're kind of cool though. They're cool.
Yeah,
vultures are kind of cool birds. I never
But anyways,
I mean, it's a little spooky, but I never found it that spooky because I'm more like, oh, cool, look, vultures.
Yeah. No, yeah. But anyways, back to Archer Avenue. So yeah, ghostly monks haunt the areas around St. James Sag Church. The Gray Baby lurks at the Sacred Heart Cemetery. I don't like that.
It's a gray baby.
And
no.
Phantom horse riders cross the street in nearby 95th and Keene. But perhaps none of the supernatural tales is well known as the Resurrection of Mary, or Resurrection Mary.
Ooh, that's a creepy name.
Is it? Are you gonna tell me? Is it an article? Or are you gonna give me a bunch? It's giving me a bunch of maps of like where to go.
Resurrection Mary. I'll just say that seems creepy.
Yeah, it seems like something.
I was expecting you to elaborate.
I'm trying to elaborate.
Does it not elaborate?
I thought it would. I thought this Dangerous Roads website would elaborate, but no, it's just sending me directions how to get there. It's like, go see for yourself. And I'm like, well,
Resurrection Mary.
I'm not driving all the way to Chicago just for Resurrection Mary. I'll drive there for the pizza because I've always wanted. They always say they have the best pizza.
I want to go to Chicago. I've never been there.
I want the pizza.
I know a surprising amount of people from Chicago.
Oh, here we go. Here's the Wikipedia.
I've never been there.
Here's the Wikipedia article. Resurrection Mary is a well-known Chicago area ghost story or urban legend of the vanishing hitchhiker type. That type of, a type of folklore that is known in many cultures. According to the story, the ghost resides in Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, a few miles southwest of Chicago. Resurrection Mary is considered to be Chicago's most famous ghost. Since the 1930s, several men driving northeast along Archer Avenue between the Willowbrook Ballroom and Resurrection Cemetery have reported picking up a young female hitchhiker. This young woman is dressed somewhat formally in a white party dress and is said to have light blonde hair and blue eyes. There are other reports that says she wears a thin shawl, dancing shoes, carries a small clutch purse, and possibly she is very quiet. As the driver nears Resurrection Cemetery, she disappears into it. According to the Chicago Tribune, full-time ghost hunter, quote-unquote, Richard Crowe, was collected 36 substantiated reports of Mary from the 1930s to the present. The legend. The story goes that Mary had spent the evening dancing with her boyfriend at the O. Henry Ballroom. At some point, they got into an argument and Mary stormed out. She left the ballroom and started walking up Archer Ave. She had not gotten very far when she was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver. Unfortunately, that's a thing that happens quite too often. Anyways, he fled the scene, leaving Mary to die. Her parents found her and were grief-stricken at the sight of her dead body. They buried her in Resurrection Cemetery, wearing a beautiful white dancing dress and matching dancing shoes. The hit-and-run driver was never found. Reported sightings. Okay, yeah, this doesn't go on too long. Just making sure before I get into it. Jerry Palace, a Chicago South Sider, reported that in 1939 he met a person which he came to believe was Resurrection Mary at the Liberty Grove and Hall in 47th and Ozark, and not the O. Henry Willowbrook Ballroom. They danced and even kissed, and she asked him to drive her home along Archer Avenue, exiting the car and disappearing in front of the Resurrection Cemetery. In 1973, Resurrection Mary was said to have shown up at the Harlow's nightclub on Cicero Avenue in Chicago's southwest side. That same year, a cab driver came into Chet's Melody Lounge across the street from Resurrection Cemetery to inquire about a young lady who had left without paying her fare. There were also said to be sightings in 1976, 78, 80, and 89, which involved cars striking or nearly striking Mary outside of Resurrection Cemetery. Mary disappears, however, by the time the motorist exits the car. She also reportedly burned her handprints into a wrought iron fence around the cemetery in August 1976. Although officials at the cemetery have stated that a truck had damaged the fence and that there is no evidence of a ghost. Here is the burn marks on the fence.
Oh, cool.
So there actually is the burn marks, but, to me, I don't see handprints there. But, who knows? And then, so yeah, they said it was a truck that hit it, which that sounds reasonable. But, and in January 31st, 1979 article in the Suburban Tribune, I assume, columnist Bill Geist detailed the story of a cab driver, Ralph, who was picked up a young woman, a looker, a blonde. She was young enough to be my daughter. 21 tops. That's gross. Don't say it don't say that. Don't say they're a looker and then they're like, it's like my daughter. No, come on.
That's weird. It's a little weird.
It's
not to be ageist and be like you can't have age differences, but that's fucking weird though.
Yeah, just don't involve your daughter.
You could have just said she's a looker and then left it at that.
You could even leave the young part, but young enough to be. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, quote.
That's being weird.
A couple miles up Archer there, she jumped with a start like a horse and said, Here, I hit the brakes. I looked around and didn't see no kind of house. Where? I said. And then she sticks out her arm and points across the road to my left and says, There. And that's when it happened. I looked to my left like this.
Jackson just looked to his left.
I'm imagining how he looked to his left.
Yeah.
At this little shack, and when I turned, she was gone. Vanished. And the car door never opened. May the good Lord strike me dead. It never opened. Gase described Ralph as not an idiot or a maniac. I hope no one describes me like that. Well, Jackson's not an idiot or a maniac. But rather, in Ralph's own words, a typical 52-year-old working guy. A veteran, father, Little League baseball coach, churchgoer, the whole shot. So a typical Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago. Chicagoan?
Chicagoan.
Yeah, think about it. A 52-year-old working guy, veteran, father, Little League baseball coach, churchgoer, the whole shot. That's how he said it. Gase goes on to say, the simple explanation, Ralph, is that you picked up the Chicago area's permanent ghost, Resurrection Mary. So, the identity of Mary. Some researchers have attempted to link Resurrection Mary to one of the many thousands of burials in Resurrection Cemetery. Particular focus of these efforts have been by Mary Bregovy, who died in 1934, although her death came in an automobile accident in the downtown Chicago Loop. In 1999, Chicago author Ursula Bilski documented a possible connection to Anna Marija Norkus, who died in 1927 auto accident while on her way home from the O. Henry Ballroom, a theory that has gained popularity in recent years. In popular culture, I'm just going to read this because it's pretty interesting. The bluegrass band, the Country Gentlemen. Have you heard of them?
Nope.
Well, anyways, they had a song called Bringing Mary Home on their 1966 record of the same name. In it, the singer picks up a little girl named Mary who directs him to a house rather than the cemetery. She then vanishes from his car in the same manner as Resurrection Mary. The driver explains the situation to the home owner, who tells him that Mary died in a car accident 13 years before that he is not the first person to give her a ride home. This version has been covered many times, included versions by Red Savine and Mac Wiseman. On his 1996 album, The Artful Dodger, singer-songwriter Ian Hunter, I think I've heard of him, included the song Resurrection Mary, in which a driver in or near Chicago picks up a beautiful young woman with an incandescent glow, who says to him, "I'm trying to get to heaven. Can you tell me where it is?" 3 films titled Resurrection Mary and based on the legend have been released. One in 2002 starring Wilford Brimley, one in 2005 featuring Joe Estevez, and one in 2007. Doesn't say who's featured in that. Probably sucks. All 3 films portray Mary as a sinister or vengeful spirit. The Legend of Resurrection Mary was featured twice on Unsolved Mysteries, once in episode 2 of season 3, in the segment titled Resurrection Mary, aptly named, and in 1990 was on episode 15 of season 6 in the segment called One for the Road, 1994. That's great. Cool. Let me just say something. That was a lot of information about Resurrection Mary.
Yeah.
And the Dangerous Roads article literally just said, but nothing's scarier than Resurrection Mary. And that's all they said.
Yeah,
they couldn't include any of the backstory.
Urban legend, they just
anything
casually mentioned.
Yeah. That's the scariest thing.
I love when I'm reading something and they just casually mention something that makes you go, "Wait, oh, hold the fuck up!"
What?
Like
Excuse me.
I was reading something. I was reading a book for.
At least put it in the footnotes.
Yeah,
like
I was reading. I was reading a
Wikipedia.
book not too long ago about it was about Mexican American immigrants throughout the early 1900s, migrant farm workers.
Mm.
And it meant something. I was reading it, and it mentioned the lost city of Aztlan. And then they just continued, and there wasn't even a footnote. I'm like, what the what?
Where's the footnote?
What's this lost city of Aztlan that talking about?
And nowadays, you can just put a hyperlink.
Yeah,
You know? Come on.
It's the mythological home of the Aztec people before they founded Tenochtitlan. But they didn't say that in the book. I was like, hold the fuck up. What was that?
Oh, here's the IMDb for the Resurrection Mary movie that came out in 2007.
Anyone notable in it?
No.
Yeah.
Some small... Oh, Richard... Oh, I know that guy.
Well, I suppose before we finish up,
It gets
here,
2 stars.
Before we finish up here, I got. I think maybe we can just go through this.
Wait,
list.
here's another one. The Legend of Resurrection Mary. Is this the one that came out in 2000? Oh, fuck. This one came out in 2021. They're still making crappy indie movies about this. Jeff Price nearly runs down a beautiful yet mysterious young girl walking alone by Resurrection Cemetery. Jeff offers to give her a ride, and by the time he drops her off, a mutual attraction is obvious. But Jeff's life begins to spin out of control shortly after he asks Mary, quote unquote, to be his date at homecoming. I want to see this movie.
This is ridiculous. We should definitely watch it.
As one by one, his friends are brutally murdered. Having spent time in juvenile hall, Jeff becomes the prime suspect of who is Mary? Why is everyone around him dying? And will Jeff's desperate measures to clear his name put him face to face with a real killer?
Ooh.
And here's how obscure this movie is. There's not any ratings. Like, literally no ratings. It seems like it's like a student film.
Yeah. So
because IMDb they'll have anything on.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Like if you made a student film and it's out in the public, IMDb will find it.
Yeah, it'll be on there.
They will find it and kill it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I figured
by broadcasting
before
it to
we
the world.
finish up here, we might go through some of these roads that are just like
around the world.
Around the world,
perhaps.
Here you got Twin Moon. I don't know how to pronounce that.
See, it's already starting great.
Road in China is haunted by ghosts. It's the name. It's a very congested highway located in Hong Kong. It links Twin Mun and Xinwan. Local. I'm probably vastly mispronouncing those words.
Yeah.
We're
ignorant.
Folklore says it's haunted by the ghosts of those who have been killed while traveling. It was built in 1977 while Britain still governed Hong Kong. According to local folklore, the ghosts appear in the middle of traffic, sending cars veering out of control.
No, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like the Archer Avenue of Resurrection Mary, we'll never forget about her. But that one is semi-urban. Like it's like South Side Chicago, everything. Like there's a lot of these roads we've been reading about, though. They're like out in the country where it's obviously going to be spooky and scary at night and everything. But I think ones that are inner city, I think that's interesting territory.
Yeah, it says these ghosts appearing in the road have caused people to veer off the road and die. And notably, in 2003, a bus crashed and 21 people were killed, and people say the spirits of them still wander around the area. Interesting. We got here.
Yeah, I mean,
we got A3 motorway in Croatia. It says a short section of the road between Staro and Petrovo Selo and Nova Gradiska
say with confidence. Yeah,
is said to be haunted. Locals blame underground water and dark forces for the carnage, saying drivers experience hallucinations, an unexplained phenomenon.
Interesting.
The road is believed to be haunted due to the high number of accidents and paranormal encounters. So it's one of those things where people die because of the paranormal encounters, making the road more haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says between times there have been 2,293 accidents, 54 deaths, and 180 serious injuries on that stretch of road.
Oh wow, that is a lot of accidents on that stretch of road.
That is a lot, yeah. All right, here we go. Stocksbridge bypass in England. Near Sheffield, situated in the north of England. The road is said to be haunted.
Home of the Arctic monkeys.
Many people have experienced strange happenings on the bypass. The paved road is part of the A16 and has been described as the killer road in recent years. It's haunted. Opened in 1988. Gained notoriety due to a series of deaths, either from poor driving, speeding, or the prior design of the road. There are reports that security staff allegedly reported strange happenings in the sightings during its construction, including encounters with a ghostly monk.
Oh, that's the second one with a ghostly monk in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
More than 25 lives have been lost on the bypass.
Just more than 25?
It says more than 25. Yeah.
That's vague.
Yeah.
I mean, at first instance, I'm like, oh, that's not that much, but it says more than 25. So that could be
M6. The M6 in Britain says
is Britain's most
the
haunted
longest
road.
motorway in the UK.
What? It's only like 5 kilometers. Got him. Got him.
Well, some say. Reported sightings of Roman soldiers and phantom lorries.
Oh, I did hear about this one. There was a guy that said a whole like troop of ghost Roman soldiers, not shoulders. That'd be funny if it was Roman shoulders. Just like the armor plating in the shoulder. That's how you see. No, but like pass by. And,
yeah. Says others say they have driven past a troubled woman who is constantly asking for a ride, and a phantom lorry driving the wrong way along the carriageway.
So Resurrection Mary's British counterpart.
Yeah, that's a common story.
A lone woman.
I don't know if you ever watched the show Supernatural, but the first episode of the first season, the pilot, has a ghost woman who will appear in your car as you're driving.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
See, that's another aspect that we didn't touch on. If it's outside the car, on the side of the road, fine. If it's in the middle of the road, that'd be scary. But if it just appears in your car, like in the back seat, like I don't
like that. Yeah.
I have a habit of checking my back seat. Even if I'm driving alone.
I do too.
Especially at night.
If I get into the
primarily
car,
at night. I'll check the back seat even while I'm like, even when I know.
When I get into my car when I'm leaving work late at night, I check
you
my
always
back
do
seat.
that.
Yeah.
Because there could be someone holding a gun behind. I mean, and see, that's another thing. All this haunted stuff it can be spooky and fun and everything, but like I get more scared about like just real stuff.
Yeah.
Well, okay, stuff that's at least more probable to happen. Okay, I won't say that it's not real, but like stuff that's probable, and that's what I'm more worried about. Yeah. Now, if
we got I'm probably mispronouncing this. The Belgian
I think
tunnel.
That's correct. It looks correct.
In Switzerland, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Switzerland. It says the tunnel is opened in '93.
Not that old.
96,
okay.
96 actually. The tunnel has been well known because of a ghost known as the White Lady. She is described as being an old woman dressed in white, shaped as a hitchhiking one. The ghost appears out of nowhere in front of drivers and sometimes speaks to them
while they're driving.
Yeah.
It's like wait. It's like you're driving like 80 miles, 70 miles per hour, whatever. And you drive through and like
you just see a lady with her hands to her mouth.
Hey, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Yeah.
If I was a ghost, I would just be like a complete troll. Like if I was haunting somebody, I wouldn't like try to ruin their lives or whatever. But you know what I would do? And I think I have this ghost. If ghosts are real, I have one because I would be the ghost that just misplaces your stuff. You're like, oh, where did I put my keys? I swear I put them right here in the same spot I always put them. And I would be the ghost that takes them from your spot and puts it like in the couch, or
I think I would be,
or like your phone, or
I think I would be one of those ghosts that
I would just mess around with you.
I think I would be one of those ghosts that you just sometimes see out of the corner of your eye.
Okay, that's worse. That's really bad.
No. Hear me out. Just like sitting in a chair or something.
That's still bad. I don't like things in the corner of my eye.
No, well, like because I'd be one. I'm trying to say like I'd be one of those ghosts that like doesn't fuck with you at all.
Making a face.
I'm just like chilling.
Oh, you would just be there.
I'm just chilling.
But that's almost creepy. Yeah.
Imagine, I'd be one of those ghosts that like rarely ever actually
walking
interacts
through the living
with
room,
people.
and you just see the ghost of Colton in the corner of your eye playing the Switch.
Yeah. I'd have a ghost Game Boy or something like that.
Well, yeah, I would have a ghost Nintendo Switch.
So, you think about it. Why do ghosts always like fuck with people? It's because most ghosts are like
they died
from
before.
like the 1800s and shit.
So what else are they
and they don't have anything else to do.
If they had
but
a
like
Switch,
if you or me were to die and become ghosts, we would have like a Game Boy or a Switch or a smartphone. And
but
I think ghosts from like the 21st century ghosts would all just be like just sitting there in a chair. Like,
but
on Facebook.
people nowadays love pulling a good prank though.
Yeah, true.
TikTok ghost. Imagine that. You're in your bathroom and then like in the corner of your eye you see someone filming you. A ghost like and subscribe. Oh, check this out. Check out this nerd. Look at this nerd. I wouldn't be that one, but I would be the one that just fucks with you. That does these little things.
Yeah.
You know.
So this next one is the A229, also in England, from Kent to Sussex. It says, most commonly seen ghost apparition is the figure of a woman in
it's always a woman.
Beautiful eyes, dressed in only white, or dressed in white only to lose track of the body.
Basic.
Yeah, pretty basic. A lot of women in white. But there's more. It says it's also been the site of disturbing events, including a hitchhiker who can be seen hiking near a well-known pub in the area. When the hitchhiker gets in the car, he will tell you all the things that have gone wrong in the world and how he will make them better. But once you reach a certain spot in the road, he disappears. I like that one. Wow. I like that one. It's cool. It's like a drunk. Just like a drunk hitchhiker that just disappears from your car after a while.
You mentioned this earlier. I don't know if before we record. Yeah, I think before we record. But I do have a. Every once in a while, we do an episode on SCPs. Yeah. I'm not going to try to explain it. It's a internet Creative Commons creative writing thing where you write spooky things. We have
several episodes on it. Go listen to them.
If
you want an explanation.
Spook Creek Pester. That's our Halloween edition of it.
Yeah, that was a good episode too.
We'll surely do more of it. When we're lost for an idea. But I do have an SCP, just to give you a little tease of what this is like. If this is your first time listening, if you never listened to an SCP episode, here you go. This one, in which we got to remember not to cover it, which I doubt it because there's like 7,000 of them now.
Yeah, it's insane.
They just did the competition for SCP 7000. Wow. And I think the one that won was basically about a guy that's like the unluckiest guy ever. And he's so unlucky that it's causing the world to like go shit just because he's so unlucky.
Yeah.
Or it's something like that. But this one is SCP-704.
Okay.
Object class, Euclid.
A more classic SCP.
Yeah.
You could say, possibly. Yeah.
Oh, you have a later one.
I have, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm just going to say SCP-6950. I don't know if we'll read it, but if we don't,
well, I like this.
Go look it up at home.
So the one I picked out,
Give me some homework
because all the things we've been reading about is about spooky things happening on the road, or ghosts on the road.
Yeah.
This one, the road itself is the spook.
Yeah. See, this SCP I found it's not the road; it's an SCP that's kind of connected with a stretch of road.
This one's literally like a road that is like a ghost road, like that fucks with you. So anyways, I'm just gonna skip to the description, then we can maybe do the containment. Actually, yeah, let's just go normal. Special containment procedures. The entrance and the exit to SCP-704 are to be closed, as the public is a private road. Both the entrance and exit are blocked by a solid steel barrier built to resemble a swing arm style barrier. The swing arm is non-functional, and the barrier is instead designed to withstand high-speed collisions with vehicles up to the size of a semi-trailer. Strong barrier. Armed guards are to be stationed at the entrance and exit of SCP-704 at all times to further discourage attempted entry. Entry to SCP-704 is not allowed by any wheeled or treaded vehicle, though attempting to do so is, for the most part, its own punishment. Entry is only allowed on foot with previous clearance from one level 3 administrator. Should a vehicle gain entry to SCP-704, personnel are to wait approximately 2 hours before attempting to recover any bodies or the driver. This is to guarantee personnel safety, as the actions of both the driver and SCP-704 are unpredictable during an active phase. Description: SCP-704 is a loop of winding road breaking off and reconnecting to the State Highway 96 and the redacted National forest. The loop does not appear on any conventional or electronic maps, and satellite surveillance is made difficult by the inability to focus on the affected area. Now, that right there, not on any electronic maps or satellite, that is the thing.
Yeah.
Google Maps has stuff blacked out.
Yeah.
Whether it's government sites or other things. But there is places where Google Maps, you can't find it. Like, it's just not.
Well, yeah, because ultimately Google is a private company, but
they still have to abide by.
When the government comes to them and says, like, hey, we don't want...
Don't let people zoom in on Area 51.
We don't want satellite imaging of this area.
Yeah.
Available
have to black
just
it out.
Literally anyone, then
so
they have to.
That is the thing that can happen.
I wonder what... I bet
and
Google... Like, I wonder who... Like, how high up in Google, like, whose job it is, like, when they're doing satellite imaging for Google Earth and stuff, like when the government comes to them and says, "Hey, these square miles don't," like who it is that
I don't know.
is in charge of that. There's got to be someone in Google who has dealt with that.
Well, and there's plenty of, and the crazy thing is, you can see plenty of air bases, military forts on Google, but then you have like these blacked off sections. It's like, what the fuck is it happening here? I don't know, but yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
There's also sections of road on Google.
There's this YouTuber actually
that don't have street view. That just like Google, that they haven't sent a camera down.
Well, they haven't sent a car yet. Yeah. No, but and yeah, there's this place in Antarctica that's like intentionally blacked out. It's another weird thing. There's whole conspiracies about Antarctica. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the whole... Yeah, there's a YouTuber, I forget his name, but he started a series. It's really good, actually. It's one of the better, like, spooky series. And he just goes to weird, scary places on Google Earth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. But anyways... SCP-704 has a passive and active phase. The passive stage can only be observed by those traveling by foot. During the passive stage, 704 appears to be a winding static road littered with the remains of vehicles.
Ooh.
Remains of vehicles are not observed during its active phase. The exact topography and distance of the route remains constant between active periods. After an active period, topography and distance change to a new configuration. Once a driver has entered 704, it begins its active phase. The active phase has been observed via remote cameras mounted to vehicles entering SCP-704 as part of various experience. Yeah, they'll send in, like, death row inmates, prisoners, and stuff. They'll be like, you go in here. There's a monster in here, but you got to go in. That kind of thing. The D class, that's what they're classified as. And so... The first sign of an active phase is an increasingly excited disposition on the part of the driver. So they get really hyped. Apparently, they get excited. As the road becomes more challenging, the driver will begin to declare how much fun the road is and prod the passengers to watch his or her driving skills. Passengers show a uniform negative reaction to the road, so the passengers are scared. Because you have this crazy driver.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Exhibiting anxiety, paranoia, and fear. The road becomes increasingly more challenging, with mounted cameras recording the route actively changing in front of the vehicle. So you'll be driving straight, and then it goes right, left, so on. Several highly improbable road configurations have been observed, including a tight circle that leads back to where it begins, a roundabout. Essentially.
Yeah.
A 70-degree incline.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a big incline.
Yeah.
That's almost a wall.
Forgive my French, but shit. Man.
And then an apparent vertical loop, like a loop-de-loo on a roller coaster.
Wow.
The general appearance of the road and landscape changes as well, manifesting paved roads and dirt roads of varying degrees of quality. The driver's excitement and the negative reactions of his passengers will increase. So as this all goes on, the driver's like, yeah, this is awesome. And then the passengers are freaking out. So until the driver loses control of the car and crashes. A crash has never been recorded on camera, as all recording devices cease functioning before the event. Now that's an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah.
Why do the cameras stop before the crash actually happens? It's like,
yeah.
What's hiding?
What's actually happening?
What's happening?
There, yeah.
So, this crash has consistently resulted in the deaths of all passengers, but the survival of the driver.
Huh.
Passengers are generally found close to the crash, with injuries consistent with forcible ejection, although no signs of this are present on the vehicle wreckage. Interestingly enough, they also are generally recovered fused with local objects at the molecular level. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Fused with things. No matter the severity of the crash, drivers will be recovered and nothing worse than scrapes and bruises. Drivers only retain partial specific memories of the time spent on 704, but are always acutely aware that they have just been responsible for their passengers' deaths.
Ooh.
Guilty.
Ooh.
Addendum 704-1. Interior monitoring devices have shown that most drivers begin to speak to the road and respond as though it's communicating with them.
Huh.
The conversation is always about the passengers and usually results in peals of manic laughter from the driver, but has been recorded to produce anger as well. It is unclear whether 704 is actually communicative or sapient. Due to the personality changes during an active event and partial retrograde amnesia after, all potential interview attempts have failed. Addendum 704-2. On April 9th, 2009, D-Class 4701, a member of the redacted biker gang, let's just say Hell's Angels, was selected to determine the effect of 704 on a single occupant vehicle. He was given a motorcycle with remote activated kill switch and it instructed to transverse SCP-704. In this case, 704 changed to lead D-Class 4701 directly through the guardhouse at the opposite end, killing the two observing researchers.
Oh.
Future experimentation on 704 with single-occupant vehicles is discouraged because it will basically, the road or whatever is going on will find a way to kill other people.
Yeah.
So if you're riding by yourself, it will just take you to the nearest people. So in this case, it was the researchers.
Huh.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
It could be a sapient road, but either way, the driver always survives, but the passengers die.
Yeah.
And it does weird things, like a 70-degree.
That's quite an incline.
And a loop-de-loop, and and some roundabouts here and there. And it's just, but what I liked about it, it's the road itself. It has its own mind.
Yeah,
like
it seems like
sometimes it's a dirt road, sometimes it's nice and paved, and
yeah,
it's just like random.
But only when you're driving.
Only when you're driving.
Yeah.
But either way, if you're just a passenger, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah. I like that one. I'm not gonna read through the one I pulled out because we're running out of time.
But what?
SCP-6950. The roadsides section dubbed Wendy's Road within redacted England. And I'll just read the description, I suppose. It's an incorporeal humanoid resembling a young woman with a shoulder-length blonde hair dressed in a white sweater and
that's
a skirt.
A very common... Yeah, that's exactly what we've been reading about.
SCP-6950 will manifest bi-weekly at exactly 12 a.m. on an indiscriminate night, walking along an uninhabited section of roadside dubbed by locals as Wendy's Road, outside of redacted England. SCP-6950 will demanifest if no vehicles pass before 12:01 a.m. If a vehicle does arrive, SCP-6950 will display a hand signal as if attempting to flag its driver for a lift.
That's exactly everything we've been reading about.
Yeah.
That's a really common trope with like urban legends and haunted roads. The hitchhiking ghost girl. It says,
as of writing, no reported persons have stopped to pick up SCP-6950 either out of fear or disinterest.
Yeah, I want to pick her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say this. This might sound cruel, but this is just self-preservation. If I'm driving in the middle of freaking nowhere, right?
Yeah.
In the dark at midnight, and then I just see a lady in a dress hitchhiking, I'm not picking her up. No way.
Yeah.
And even if I have, like, even if my girlfriend's like, oh, you should get her, and I'm like, no, I'm driving.
That's
no.
a self-preservation thing.
Any hitchhikers.
Yeah.
I don't trust people.
I don't.
Ghost or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson to learn from today.
Yep. Don't pick up hitchhikers.
Yeah, ghost or not.
I mean, yeah.
Unless it's like a family.
Yeah.
Or if they have a dog.
But anyway.
If they have a dog.
Haunted roads.
Or if it is a dog.
We only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah, there's... but I don't think it gets that... I will say, I think we scratch the surface.
Similar stories,
but it's a lot of the same kind of urban legends. The hitchhiking goes later.
You find that a lot with just haunted
spooky lights. Oh, there's demon dogs.
You find that a lot with haunted things in general. Where it's, I went through that list of haunted hotels on Welcome Route 66, and they're mostly pretty similar.
That's why I like trying to find ones that are very specific, that have a very specific tale.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I like the Chicago one, Mary.
Yeah, that one, the Spook lot. Yeah, there were some good ones in there.
There's some cool stories. It's
a long episode.
Yeah,
we have to cut some stuff out.
Well,
but
you know how Spooktober goes.
Oh, let me tell you.
On average, Spooktober are longest
always
episodes. Without fail.
Yeah, without fail. Let's see, before we end this, and by the way, if you enjoyed this episode, give us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can do it. Leave us a rating or review. Give us a follow on Instagram at OddDrunkPod. And you can find everything you need at the link tree. And yeah, if you like us, go ahead and do those things. Give us a download. In fact, even if you don't leave a review, even if you don't follow us on Instagram, tell a friend, tell a mate.
Yeah. Do it. Just go walk into
trick one of your friends into listening to us.
Yeah,
a stranger.
Walk into the nearest Starbucks. I know they're international.
I thought you were going to say bar.
Walk into the nearest. Walk into the nearest
Starbucks. Okay.
Starbucks and just scream at the top of your lungs. Listen to the Odd Drunk Podcast and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
And run.
Yeah, and then run. Yeah. But
preferably. Yeah. In your tidy whities. Don't do that. But
maybe not that.
But if we hear a news story about it,
I
local,
I don't want to be responsible for encouraging someone. To strip in public.
This is satire, so if they do it, that's on them, right?
I'll tell you what.
But
if you guys send us a video, a recording of you going into a Starbucks, not in your underwear, fully dressed, and screaming, listen to the Odd Drunk Podcast. Link tree in the description. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Then I will go into our local Starbucks and scream the same thing.
But as far as the tangent points go, we have 4 points for this episode. Almost reaching our max of 5.
Not bad.
Maybe we can change the maximum amount. Maybe, how about this? Maximum of... No, I like the 5 thing.
I think 5 is good.
I think 5's good. That's fair.
We're not bad about tangents.
Do the points carry on to the next episode if we don't veto it?
If we don't veto it, they do not carry on. I think that's important.
So if we don't reach... only if we reach 5, we can veto it and save it for the next one.
Yeah.
The shot for the next one.
However, this episode, because it's unopened, I'm thinking I might take a little sip of this wild turkey anyway.
This isn't because of the tangent points,
No, just because, we've never opened a fresh bottle of liquor on the show before. And I'm breaking the seal right now.
But okay, yeah.
I don't think we've opened it's been unopened before.
I have. There's been times I went to the liquor store and came straight over here.
Yeah. Well, we typically open it before we record.
Oh, true.
Yeah. I literally just broke the seal on this.
I bought this
a week ago. It's been sitting on my desk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's not bad. You want some?
Yeah, I'll try some.
A little sip. Some Wild Turkey 101. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Burns a little.
Yeah.
Also, I must say, because we are going to be doing another spooky commentary, a movie commentary for Spooktober.
Yes.
Probably around the tail end of it, but we'll see. Maybe we won't have anything. Oh, yeah, Halloween Ends. We got to do a review on that, so there you go. There's a little teaser. But I will say, on commentaries, as far as tangent points go, I think tangents are fine on a commentary. However, we will get points if we just straight up talk without just talk over the movie.
Yeah,
like without.
There are certain types of episodes where we will be more lenient.
Yeah,
like our episode a few episodes back with Chris McMahon.
That's supposed to.
That's a tangent
conversation.
Episode. Yeah,
it's not a topic. It's a
great episode. Go check it out.
However, I will, and you can veto it once a month.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
If I say something, hey, this is getting a tangent point, it's gonna get a tangent point. If I feel like it.
Yeah.
But you can veto it. You get a few vetoes for it. Let's just say you get enough vetoes for it until I veto your veto.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll work out the system more.
We'll work it out. I think.
Hey, by the next episode, we'll review the system. And
it's mostly probably going to just be a situational thing on what we collect.
Or we forget about
on what we think. Or if we forget about it.
But you know what? We need more. We need more.
We need more bits.
Bits, yeah, and that's a bit. You know? What's our tangent points at? Yeah.
Anyway, this has been a long episode.
We could have a bit point system.
Yeah.
It's like, how many bits do we have?
Or we could buy some Bitcoin.
And yeah.
Or we could start our own.
No, that's worthless.
We could start our own cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I'm good.
Odd drunk coins.
No, I'm good. They're dying. Bitcoins are
dead. Yeah. Anyway, this has been a long episode. And we should probably end it.
Probably.
What do you think? Yeah.
You know, we could just keep recording and just talk about the point system for another hour, but I don't think anyone wants to hear that.
We probably could do that, to be totally honest.
And I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but get ready for more Spooktober.
Yeah, we still got a couple more weeks after this to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's been good so far, and it's going to continue to be good.
It's a really good time.
Yeah.
And also, did you see the trailer for Violent Night with David Harbour as Santa Claus, and he has the John Wick?
I did. I love it, and I want to watch it. And
maybe, you know, because sometimes we do a Christmas movie.
Yeah, we do Christmas stuff sometimes. Not on the level of Spooktober with a whole month, but we've done Christmas
last year
episodes.
was the most we ever did.
Yeah.
We
mostly kind of skipped it the first year. I think we maybe did one episode that was Christmas.
We did Die Hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's only like kind of.
Speaking of tangents not related to the movie we're watching, I remember that episode being a lot of drunk tangents.
Oh yeah, that commentary.
We barely paid attention to the movie. And anyway.
And we just got another tangent point. You can veto it, but we just did. You know, I won't count that. That's, you know, the episode's over.
We're already.
It's over.
We're already at the end of the episode.
The episode is over. What are you still doing here?
Yeah.
What am I still doing here? I need to go home. You know, it's a cold autumn night, not a hot autumn.
No, it's a cold
like we discussed.
Anyway, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye. Go to sleep.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To visit all of our current streaming and social media platforms, visit the link tree in the description. If you enjoy the show, we would be appreciated if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast would like to remind you to drink responsibly and not to drink and drive. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.